Hi, my name is John Patalis, and I am your Lake County Treasurer. Your Treasurer's Office is responsible for the collection of over $1 billion per year in money that belongs to you, the taxpayer. I am asking you for your support and vote on Tuesday, May 5, as I seek re-election to this very important financial office. For public service and not self-service, please remember me, John Patalis, for your Lake County Treasurer. Paid for by the committee to elect John Patalis.
My name is Jason Gore, and I'm asking for your vote to be Lake County's next sheriff. I was born, raised, started the family, and worked my nearly 30-year career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer and as an ATF agent, all here in Lake County. I promise to lead differently, restore the public's trust in the Sheriff's Department, and to build a world-class police organization that is focused on serving you. In this election, Lake County residents have a different choice.
I'm Jerry Williams. For over 35 years, I protected Lake County as a state trooper and interim police chief of Gary. This is my home, and keeping our community safe has been my life's work. I've dedicated my career to fighting crime. Now I'm running for sheriff to get the job done and deliver real results. As a crime fighter, not a politician, I'd be honored to have your vote. Paid for by the committee to elect Jerry Williams for sheriff.
I've spent more than 2 decades protecting the people of Lake County as a patrol officer, canine handler, detective, and now chief of police. I know what it takes to keep our neighborhoods safe, support our local police departments, and hold the sheriff's office to the highest standards. As your sheriff, I'll focus on strong training, crime prevention, and real partnerships with the communities we serve. I'm Stephen Flores. I'm ready to be a working sheriff you can trust, and I approve this message.
The St. John Democratic Precinct Organization endorses Frank Mervan for U.S. Congress, Mike Brown for Clerk of the Lake County Courts, Gina Pimentel for Auditor, Stephen Flores for Sheriff, Latanya Spearman for Assessor, John Patalis for Treasurer, Stephen Menchek for a 6th District of the County Council. Please elect these outstanding individuals on May 5th. This ad is paid for by the St. John Township Democratic Precinct Organization, Jane Wallace, Chairperson.
Check the calendar, Bob.
Check the calendar. Checking the calendar.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
This is your show. This is your circus, Bob.
That's right. This is my show and my circus. It is 6:02 in the region. You are listening to WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, streaming live on the YouTubes. And it's Friday morning. You'll notice that Brent looks a little different. He looks Chuckish today.
Look very less Brentish, less Southern. I'm less of a Southern gentleman for sure.
Yet still smells of barbecue. So
my lovely wife, I hope she's listening. I said, because they do this thing where they're like, hey, you're not gonna be. If they assume I'm not gonna be home. They're like, hey, we're just getting McDonald's or Wendy's, path of least resistance. And I sent her a message, and I said, hey, could we do something different? I said, I had a long week. I said, can you handle it? I normally cook, and then she goes and gets McDonald's. No offense. And then I say, can you just handle it? Just go get something, not McDonald's tonight. She comes home with just a big old bag of Brent's barbecue. It's like, that's fantastic. Like that's
the way to do it. So what did you get?
This
is just going to be that Friday show. There's so much news out there.
There's so much news. I just want to watch videos of steam trains for the next 2 hours.
I do.
And talk about barbecue because it is Friday.
It is
But
Friday.
no, she just brought a little bit of everything, and I was just like that. That's great. I was looking forward to the fries, though. She didn't get his fries. Those are always a great go-to. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, we are not going to talk about Brent's barbecue for the next 2 hours.
No.
We'll save that for next Friday.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about docks at 1420 Calumet Avenue in Dyer, Indiana. We're not going to do it.
Future home of a beautiful amphitheater.
Yes. No, it's Parkside Pavilion is the new name. We're going to name the entire complex. It'll be Parkside Pavilion Event Center in...
See, that's too many P's. You're going to pop your P's every time you introduce it.
Yeah. 6:04 in the region. I'm just going to list off time by time. Let's do traffic and weather. Let's get that out of the way before Chuck and I. You want me to do traffic?
Oh, I don't have it ready, so.
Oh, okay.
I definitely wasn't planning on doing traffic.
I'm
the guest.
All of the 94s look okay. I like when you said that. Everything in Indiana is fine. I will remind everyone that Route 30 in Dyer, at the train tracks is still closed. Will probably, last update, probably will be closed until Sunday late afternoon.
A project that could have been an email is now taking 7 days. I mean,
Yes.
You should just stand out there. Here's what your campaign, your next campaign photo should just be you with your finger on your watch looking at the CSX guys. Going, you should just be out there with like stopwatches going, how long does it take you guys to do this? Because I'm telling you, this is an 8-hour project. I'm swearing to you, 12 hours tops if you take a long lunch and a couple coffees. It's a 12-hour project. How is this taking 7 days? Unless they're building a third track for the future South Shore to come to Dyer.
Well, certainly.
Maybe that's why.
So
but unless they're doing that,
it's already at Dyer. We're talking about bringing it to Cedar Lake. So
how is it going to fly? How is it going to go around St. John to get there? Because over my dead body. Mind you, I'm wearing my janky train shirt today.
We're just trying to do some radio after some frustrating news yesterday. 94 at the merge going into the city is slowing up. 55 going into the city is slowing up. But other than that, right now at 6:05, everything is nice and easy and as you would expect on a Friday morning. How's that weather?
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 41 degrees with highs of 47 and lows of 35. It's going to be mostly cloudy and colder with a shower in places. Tomorrow on Saturday we'll be having highs of 52 and lows of 40. We'll be cool with times of clouds and sun. And then Sunday we'll be having highs of 61 and lows of 47. It should be mostly cloudy and breezy with a passing shower or two. And before we move on, I just want to remind everyone that election night coverage on WJOB will be brought to you by Tech Credit Union, serving our community with trusted financial solutions. Tech Credit Union is committed to helping you achieve your goals today and tomorrow. Learn more at techcu.org.
Election night coverage. Can you believe it's already here? I am tingling with excitement.
If you're going to tingle that loudly, that may have to turn you down just a little bit because he's peaking and overmodulating. But
Yeah,
we'll let
my audio is...
Is it fuzzy?
You guys sound weird to me.
We always sound weird. Is this your first day?
Must have been that coffee that Jed
did Jed rewire something?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we do sound a little fuzzy, but it is Friday. It's Fuzzy Friday here in WJLB, the voice and base of the region.
Fuzzy Friday.
Fuzzy Friday.
Fuzzy Friday. It's just like Chuck and I with our shirts off. Yep. So for those of you who are watching on the YouTube,
you know what I can't figure out?
Well, hang on one second.
How is it that our Monday show does much better ratings than the Friday show? Have you noticed that? I don't know if you've noticed that, but I check these things. The Monday show, twice the ratings of the Friday show. Carry on. Shots fired.
My wayward son. You're here now.
Right. I'm not blaming myself, of course, for the Friday show ratings. I'm just saying, in general, the one that has your name on it has half the ratings of the one with my name on it. I'm just saying. Just throwing it out there.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe it's Brent's fault or Brett's fault.
It could be.
Just saying.
So, for those of you listening on the YouTubes...
Or maybe it's because Lynette doesn't produce on Friday. Maybe the shows that Lynette produces, they have double the ratings when, hello, I'm Joe, when he produces.
We know this.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
So, the staff here at WJOB, they've been front-loading all of the YouTube shows.
Oh, we've been loaded all right.
And so when you go on to the YouTubes and you're looking for today's live, sometimes you may have to scroll down to find it.
No, you hit live and it should be live now.
You would think.
Yeah, I was watching a video from like 20 days ago because, we need to do better. I don't know how we figured this out. I blame YouTube.
I blame YouTube also. 219-845-1100. We are here until 8 o'clock before we get preempted by some...
Political shows,
which... Hey, next Tuesday, go out and vote.
Hey, as long as the check's clear, we need new equipment. So I will take it. And grin and bear it. Thank you for your checks. I can't wait for a new board.
Grin and bear it.
We went to NAB first. I said, here's all I want to buy. So get those political checks with questionable funding, and we'll use that money to buy new stuff.
Hey, where'd you get that money from?
Hey, can't talk about it.
Oh, can't talk about it.
Cannot talk about it.
Can't talk about it today. Maybe Monday.
But you can Google it.
You can Google it. You can go to the
OpenSecrets.org.
OpenSecrets.org, and you can type in.
You can check those receipts. You can check the receipts
can.
yourself.
Yes. So there's probably a whole glass house argument we could have later on. But
I should start off by apologizing. I'm going to proactively apologize to you, Lynette, and the listeners because I'm in a mood today. I'm just going to throw that out there. I am in a mood. I am in a mood after the last 24 hours. I am in a mood.
Well,
we're going to try to.
What's irritating is
that.
when, 1 + 1 = 2 to some people. Yet 1 + 1 = 3 when it's convenient to other people.
You got to check those receipts, Bob.
I do.
I checked the. I was all last night checking the receipts. I got the receipts.
Someone said our audio is a little choppy. That's because we are attempting some new kung fu.
Yes. I don't believe you're allowed to say that.
Let's take that caller.
It's going to get us on CNN.
Oh, we should be on CNN. Let me know when CNN taps into the stream.
Everybody around here's been on CNN lately, but us at this point. Everybody's been making national news. Everybody's on CNN. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not on CNN, but because we'd have 8 more people watching if we were.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
We have callers. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Chuck.
Trucker Mike.
And Bob.
How are you, sir?
It was on the news this morning.
Us?
Autonomous has self-driving cars. Now they experimented with a semi that only went 200 miles down.
You said autonomous. Tesla, right?
Yeah. Autonomous, those self-driving
No, but
vehicles.
I mean, who's the owner?
Okay.
Tesla.
Probably, whoever. Some rich on the, but anyhow, they tested it down in Texas. Okay. I have a relative that's pretty hip up in New Albuquerque about this. He says they can't bring them into Chicago, Atlanta, Georgia, or San Antonio, big cities, because those things will crash. They're going to crash. And then how is a autonomous semi, when you back up to a door to make a delivery, somebody's got to open that door, somebody's got to unload that truck. Well, the Teamsters and the unions and all these trucking companies, one says, oh, that's going to be the greatest thing in the world. No, they said that they can run the trucks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I only got 33 more years and I'll be 100. I don't think I'll make to see it. I don't want to be going down the road and the semi comes alongside me without somebody driving it. And then I don't know if those autonomous semis have to come to our school and we have to train them how to drive.
What say you, Chuck?
What do you guys think?
I say we bring back steam trains, steam powered semis. I mean,
some kind of big train's going to be coming from somewhere in Illinois going east. I saw you advertising.
We're going to talk about that. We are excited. We have we're just. Yes, I'm stoked.
I can't wait. It's like June 13th or 11th? Or we'll talk more about it. Trust me, we'll be talking about trains. Here on a Monday.
Yeah,
we're working on it. We'll have more. We may be live from the train. We'll see. But it's it's funny whenever we bring up autonomous, because I remember Jim and I talking about this. Literally a decade ago when I was talking about the train, things like autonomous vehicles are going to make the train obsolete. When Bob and I were in Vegas, we saw the little glass booth car thing driving people around. I mean, it's hard to say that it's not going to be the future. I understand where you're coming from, and obviously when we looked at this last, there's like 30 million truck drivers in this country or something like that. There's a lot of people whose livelihoods are at risk because of autonomous vehicles. Cab drivers, delivery drivers, the pizza guy. I mean, I get it. I mean, and it's definitely something to be watched out for. But I also say we have, like 60,000 vehicle deaths in this country every year. And if that technology, and we've seen several high-profile accidents involving semis. I mean, there was the one in, Florida? If we could find a way, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if we can use technology to save tens of thousands of lives every year, I think we have to do that. My new Ford has all kinds of bells and whistles every time, and I know that the problem is we also have a government overreach with this corrupt government, and they want to put in interlocks in our cars, and they want to put all kinds of sensors in to make sure you're not playing on your phone and paying attention. And I think those sensors are going to make your car cost an extra $10,000. And when they break, you're not going to be able to, a sensor is going to go out. You're not going to be able to drive to work. So I think there's a lot there that needs to be talked about. And unfortunately, I mean, honestly, it won't get a lot of attention until we're on the back end. But I mean, our government has been actively, there's been places like California. California wants to put in technology that you can't speed. And so if California regulates it, then every other state's going to eventually get it. And so on one hand, you could say, well, hey, if everybody's going to the speed limit, traffic deaths will go down. I mean, that, you know, you could make that argument. But I also, do I want a government GPS in my car tracking, you know, everything I'm doing, probably listening to my conversations, you know, knowing where I'm going? And I mean, you know, the people have to decide. But realistically, you're not going to care until the back end. And everybody's going to go, why is there a government GPS in my car to track my miles, to pay my, you know, mileage tax?
Well, and to track if you're... this is where the whole for the children argument comes in, because they're going to say, hey, look, now it's going to be, we're going to put these sensors in the car that it will be able to detect whether you're impaired or paying attention or whatnot, and we will have AI process that, and if it doesn't like what it's seeing, it will then stall out the car.
Well, here's the big question, though. Will government exempt itself? I mean, I'm just saying, we probably could use that in a few government vehicles around here. Just saying. Will the government vehicles also have those interlockings, or will it just be, our vehicles?
My guess is there will be some type of...
They'll exempt themselves, right. Right.
Can I get in between you guys and let you go so you can finish this?
Yeah.
You can come snuggle up anytime.
I'm going to let you go in a minute, and everybody have a nice, wonderful day today, but... I think the best way to run the government and get rid of the stupid politicians is get them all out of office and let AI run the government.
AI for Dyer Town Council.
No. Bob, and you got whoever, our local, there's a lot of good locals. No, don't get rid of them. Get rid of them stupid politicians up in Washington. Let AI run it. I can do a better job than what they're doing.
I still remember that there was a
for the longest time. I said, let's the folks in Washington do us little good, and then it condensed into the folks in Indianapolis are doing us no good whatsoever, and now I say, there's a fair amount of folks at the town level that are doing good.
Now that you've had to deal with them firsthand.
Yeah, now that I've had to deal with them.
Okay, well, say your thing, and then we got to move on, Mike.
Yeah, so I've got my voter's registration card ready. I have my picture ID ready, and I can't wait till the 5th because I know who I'm voting for, and I'll be glad to see things change. So everybody have a good day.
Definitely going to change, vote harder. Appreciate the call. You have a good weekend. I'm glad you changed that battery. I don't hear it in the background.
Beep.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was my alarm that it was
time to call in.
Time to call in.
No, when you heard it on the phone a minute ago, beeping, did you hear that?
No, I was joking about your smoke detector. I'm glad you fixed the battery.
Yeah, but my phone was just beeping a minute ago. It lets me know there's daylight. I can start driving once my other eye gets surgery done. All right, everybody have a safe day now.
Thank you.
You have a good one. So to piggyback off of what he said is, Trucker Mike is looking forward to next Tuesday, voting 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. But for early voters, you've got a couple days left. Today, 9 to 3. Tomorrow, 9 to 3, and then Monday, 9 to noon, you can go early vote at any of the early vote locations. I will say the times are different for the Lake County Board of Elections and Registration Office. So over in Crown Point at the government building, those are 8:30 to 4:30 today, 9 to 4 tomorrow. But hey, it's supposed to be 50 and rainy on next Tuesday, so if you want your voice heard but you're afraid you're going to melt in the rain, go vote early. It's secure, it's fine, just go vote. I have people I'd like you to vote for, but I'm not going to say that on the radio today.
Why don't we take a break?
Oh, we do, because we have political ads.
We have lots of ads. We got to, do our thing. You talk for 20 minutes, and then we let the ads do their thing.
And when we come back, we can talk about the gas prices. Those are atrocious.
Speaking of Washington, our federal deficit, our debt has now reached 100% of GDP. In simple terms, imagine your credit card bills equaled your revenue. Not good. So, but yeah, let's keep voting harder. But why don't we take a break to hear some political ads from people that will definitely change things for the better here in the region, and we'll be back with more after this.
I spent more than 2 decades protecting the people of Lake County as a patrol officer, canine handler, detective, and now chief of police. I know what it takes to keep our neighborhoods safe, support our local police departments, and hold the sheriff's office to the highest standards. As your sheriff, I'll focus on strong training, crime prevention, and real partnerships with the communities we serve. I'm Stephen Flores. I'm ready to be a working sheriff you can trust, and I approve this message.
I'm Jerry Williams. For over 35 years, I protected Lake County as a state trooper and interim police chief of Gary. This is my home, and keeping our community safe has been my life's work. I've dedicated my career to fighting crime. Now I'm running for sheriff to get the job done and deliver real results. As a crime fighter, not a politician, I'd be honored to have your vote. Paid for by the committee to elect Jerry Williams for sheriff.
State Senator Dan Darnell was supposed to be different. He promised to fight for Hoosier families and stand with President Trump. He failed. Darnell voted against President Trump's agenda in Washington. That hurt Hoosier families, and he voted to let a Chinese company buy Hoosier farmland, putting China before us. Dan Darnell, opposing Trump, voting like a liberal, letting us down. A disgrace.
President Trump has endorsed conservative Trevor DeVries for state senate, a real Republican who will fight for Hoosier values. Trevor DeVries will stand with Trump, protect Hoosier farmland from China, defeat the liberal agenda, and never let you down. A true America First conservative. The right choice for Indiana. Endorsed by Trump, Trevor DeVries for state senate. Election day is May 5th. Paid for by American Leadership PAC.
The St. John Democratic Precinct Organization endorses Frank Mervan for U.S. Congress, Mike Brown for Clerk of the Lake County Courts, Gina Pimentel for Auditor, Stephen Flores for Sheriff, Latanya Spearman for Assessor, John Patelis for Treasurer, Stephen Menchek for a 6th District of the County Council. Please elect these outstanding individuals on May 5th. This ad is paid for by the St. John Township Democratic Precinct Organization, Jane Wallace, Chairperson.
My name is Jason Gore, and I'm asking for your vote to be Lake County's next sheriff. I was born, raised, started the family, and worked my nearly 30-year career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer and as an ATF agent, all here in Lake County. I promise to lead differently, restore the public's trust in the Sheriff's Department, and to build a world-class police organization that is focused on serving you. In this election, Lake County residents have a different choice.
Don't say
Good morning. It is 6:22 in the region. I wasn't paying attention, so Lynette, your hand signals were lost on me. But
no, I was watching. I was just waiting to see.
Oh, waiting to see if I'd do
set
something. It's an odd morning today. We have all sorts of news, but we're cautious about what we want to say and when we want to say it.
It's like
we spent. Well, let me just say we spent the last 24 hours. It's a big political news cycle. They're doing raids on, trying to find the lemon rice soup recipe. People are donating from, one candidate to another, and evidently that's bad at times, but other times it's not. And we spent all sorts of time researching who does what and where, and it's just beyond frustrating. And so, opensecrets.org. Go type in your favorite folks that say you shouldn't do XYZ and see if they've done XYZ. And guess what?
Get those receipts.
They've done XYZ. We can do traffic and weather real quick here before we get back into the season of political ads. Let's see here. 8094 is looking just fine in northwest Indiana. Again, Route 30 is closed. Starting to back up a little at 94 into the merger, going into the city. 55 is really starting to get the tight going in the city around 50. I don't even know what that is. I just Cicero.
What? Oh,
but
nobody's going that way. Nobody knows what you're talking about.
No. And really, you got GPS. Use your GPS.
Use Waze. It will tell you whether to go that way or not.
Yeah. So, all the 80s, all the 94s, everything's looking fine. Klein Avenue's a little slow off of 94, heading up to the tollway. How's the weather?
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 40 degrees with highs of 47 and lows of 35. It's going to be mostly cloudy and colder with a shower in places. And tomorrow on Saturday we'll be having highs of 52 and lows of 40. Should be cool with times of clouds and sun. Then Sunday we'll be having highs of 61 and lows of 47. It should be mostly cloudy and breezy with a passing shower or two.
So I just had a question come in talking about the primary coming up, and there are, as much as Chuck and I may be flippant about some of the news as of late, there are a lot of questions. Indiana's one of those states where when you go to vote in a primary, you have to select whether you want the Republican ticket or the Democrat ticket. Now, when you do that, what you're doing is you're saying, I'm sorry, Mr. Libertarian guy.
I'm just saying I don't get to vote. I don't get to vote in your primaries, and it's illegal now. So No,
you can. You can. There's no illegality about voting in our elections. So you pick Republican or Democrat, and basically what you're doing is you are selecting the candidate on that ticket that you want to represent the Republican and or Democrat Party in the fall in the general election. If you pull the Republican ticket, if you pull the Democrat ticket, vote for that person. It has no bearing on what you are or are not allowed to vote for in the fall. That's a free and open election, and you vote for whomever you'd like. So,
with
yes, when
the
you go in,
caveat, though, if you do have aspirations for some strange reason you want to run for office in the future, you need to be cognizant of which side you choose in the primaries. I will just say that.
There was a law change recently where that really matters. So right now, let's say, for example, you are a Republican in Lake County, but you have a vested interest in, say,
sheriff's race.
The sheriff's race on the Democrat side. That seems to be spicy and getting all of the attention.
The race to watch.
And you say, hey, I want to go in and I like person XYZ, and so I'm going to go vote for that person. Be mindful that when you vote for that, you now have a Democrat vote on your record.
On your permanent record.
On your permanent record. Now, where that matters is, and this is both Republican or Democrat, if you are going to run for office,
I don't know,
without the blessing of the county party chair, Indiana state law requires that the last two primaries that you voted in must be of the same party and the party that you are going to run for. So meaning, if you want to run for a Democrat office somewhere, the last two primaries that you voted in must be Democrat. You must pull the Democrat ballot for the last two primaries if you want to run for office as a Democrat. Now, the county chairs have the authority to waive that, but oftentimes you're not going to find that just because that's not the law anymore. Indianapolis, in their wisdom, their infinite wisdom, their overflowing wisdom, have said, in order to run for office, you have to have the last two cycles that you voted in must be of that party. So again, if you're going out and you're going to vote for Republican, you're going to vote for Democrat this time, just keep in mind that if you have aspirations to be a town councilor or a precinct committeeman, sometimes even work the polls, they check that too. In a world where we cannot find enough people, Republican or Democrat. A lot of times they like to have this secret thing like, oh, we're struggling, but we don't want people to know we're struggling. I'm telling you, the Republican Party is looking for poll workers, and the Democrat Party is working for poll workers. So, yeah.
Can I add my caveat?
Sure.
If you want to be one of the cool kids and run as a libertarian, I don't care who you are. I'll sign. If Lynette, you want to run for mayor? I'll give you the paperwork right now. Why not? I mean, seriously, I don't care.
I tell you, Lynette is, absolutely. 100%.
She would just show up and be like, you seriously run for whatever.
You should.
I'll sign. I get the paperwork.
That would be amazing. She would just show up, do the work, and
right.
Yeah.
I'll fix the potholes.
That's
done.
That
right there.
Elected.
You don't need to do anything else in so many.
Like I will leave you alone and I'll fix the potholes.
There's one I hit so terribly once we enter the bridge over here.
What city is that in?
Right here.
No, what city is that in though? What side of the bridge?
Hammond.
This
is Hammond.
Oh. I'm just saying. Okay.
So to talk on that, when I first ran in 19 for town council, you've got these visions of, I'd like to do this and that. And at the end of the day, local folks, all of you local folks listening, people get so excited when you pave roads and replace the 20, 30-year-old park equipment and make sure that you've got enough cops and firefighters to respond to emergencies. And then that's really all you have to do.
It's so easy to do the right thing. Yet there's so many people out there that just can't manage to do it. It's so easy. It's so easy to do the right thing. And
then when we put up Christmas lights, at Christmas, they're like, hey, this is great. Hey, thanks. The roads are paved. The parks are good. I appreciate it. That's all you have to do.
You should, what you can do is, can you fix a pothole with your yard sign?
Ooh.
Like put your yard sign down. But you got to be careful though. But again, even like the Starkey for Senate yard signs, you should have them hang on to those just in case you need those someday.
Just as a reminder, Jay Starkey for Senate is not related to Bob Starkey for Dyer. He's a different gentleman out of DeMont, I believe. I've only met him once. It seems like a nice guy. But for the folks that send me text messages multiple times a week, no, I am not running for state senate.
Yet.
No.
Yet.
No. No. But I wish him all of the best in all of the voting things.
Yeah. Vote for the things. We should take some calls. You want to take some calls before we have to take another political break? Do we have calls?
We got 4.
4?
Oh.
Okay. We're gonna answer the phone. It's just gonna be a political ad. Just somebody doing a live read.
That would be amazing.
Send us $20
and caller, you're on the air. This is Steve Flores.
Okay, take a call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, gentlemen. Long-time caller, first-time listener.
Me too, sir. Me too. Don't call too much because you end up with a morning show just like I did.
Yeah.
Jim will be like, "What are you doing on Thursday?"
Yeah, I accidentally stumbled into the PNC studio one time, and the next thing I know, I'm here getting worse ratings than Chuck. So I don't know what to tell you. What can we do for you?
I've got a couple thoughts to throw at both of you, and then one thought to throw at you, Bob.
Yeah.
First thought is, has anybody given any consideration to getting rid of the straight party ticket on the ballot?
You know who has?
And making people...
All of the people that aren't in power and don't benefit from it, which unfortunately is everybody on the ballot. I mean, that's the thing is that, it probably is one of the most confusing. I've met people that have been voting for 50 years that don't understand how straight party ticket voting works. But again, it benefits, no offense, second party, but in this district, for instance, 60% of Democrats and 40% of Republicans vote straight party. That's guaranteed votes. I mean, for Democrats, you're incumbent. I mean, it's like you get a guaranteed 60% of people are just going to walk in, hit the one button and walk out. I mean, why would you break that? For them, it's great.
And to I don't know, piggyback on that. I was thinking of a word there. You have to remember, as much as we're up here in Lake County, we think, man, the straight party ticket is really holding the Republican Party back at a county level and in some of the municipalities at the municipal level. You have to remember that 88 of the 92 counties are deep red, and half of those are because of straight ticket voting. I'm all for it. I really do think. I mean, if nothing else, the person has the little R, the little D, or the little I next to their name, so you'll be able to click that. It makes a person click maybe 10 buttons instead of one. I have no problem with it, but
I mean,
again,
but
you're dealing with a state that there's a supermajority for a reason.
This is the inherent problem, that Lake County is always different from 80 whatever other counties. We are different.
92.
I'm saying there are like 4 counties where we may be the only one of like 2 where you have situations where, like in St. John, we're mainly Republican, but a lot of people want to vote, for our sheriff or for the sheriff's race. Our chief is in the race, and they can't do that because they are Republicans.
Well,
right?
and you're talking about the different, not straight ticket voting. You're talking about open
no.
primaries.
But I'm saying in the primary. I'm saying my point is that there's really no contested races on the Republican ballot, and right. I mean, for St. John, there's like no contested races, but you're a Republican, but you want to vote for the sheriff's race. I mean, again, it gets complicated. It gets confusing. And for most counties, it doesn't matter. Our county, it absolutely does. Or even like, the last congressional race or whatever. You want to get into the primary. There's a big primary, but you want to vote for Republican. So, I mean, it gets to be this thing where for most counties, it doesn't matter. For us, it does, but they don't care about us. So that's why they keep doing it. Go ahead. What's your next question?
Well, and it also gets people in there that have no business being in an elected position.
Well, don't I know it?
The only reason she's still in office is because of the fact that she rides the red wave. I mean,
NSA's got your phone. He might.
Well.
There we go. Okay, now
we go.
Now I can
There we
hear you
go.
again. Okay, so
There you go. We were losing you there for a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I drove under a bridge on 65.
No welcome back.
I at least came out the other side.
Yeah. But, for example, I have a state rep that's absolutely useless. The only reason she's in office is because she rides the red wave.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? I mean, that's sort of the thing is that, as long as you have the support locally and no, young person wants to come up behind you and challenge you, then, or if you don't have any money, that's one of the other problems. You get this war chest, and who can challenge you, right? I mean, that's the inherent problem with that. But again, it benefits them, so why would they change it? I mean, it's just like the same thing with libertarians. They're constantly trying to change the rules to keep libertarians and third parties off the ballot because, like, hey, we got the monopoly. Why would we want to let anybody else run?
Well, and it's such an ego stroke for some of these folks because of the straight party voting. So, as you said, so you've got a rep who you feel that, hey, just because folks go in there and hit a straight R wherever you live, that this person keeps getting in there. Then there's this false notion in their head that, hey, look at all the good things I've done because they just keep reelecting me. Well, no, it's because people go in there and generally they're saying, yeah, we like Republicans over Democrats, and so that person keeps getting in. You get rid of that, then people will have to actually take the time to press the button next to their name.
Yeah. So, okay, what's your next question? We gotta move on to the political ads so we get paid. So, okay, what's the next one?
Okay. Well, this is the one that's gonna. I'll jump ahead to the one that's strictly for Bob.
Oh.
I'm a conservocrat. Okay, that's what I call myself. I call myself a conservocrat because I'm about as middle as I can get.
Okay.
Don't you find it offensive that because of the fact that the president is having a temper tantrum and putting all these people in races against the people that voted down the redistricting, don't you find it offensive that this is happening within the Republican Party?
I know I'm not Bob, but can I? Here's what I'm going to say. Here's all I'm going to say.
Hang on, Chuck's going to suck the oxygen out of the room for a second. He wasn't talking to you.
I know. Here's all I'm going to say is
let her rip.
All I'm going to say is, can we put a pin in this until after the election? I mean, I'm asking. Bob can answer, but trust me, I want to have this discussion. So all I'm saying is, I'm putting a pin in this. You call back after the election, remind me of this. Say, Chuck, you told me to remind you. Put a pin in this because I want to have this discussion, but I want to have it after the election. Go ahead, Bob.
Am I allowed to talk? Or do I got to wait till Wednesday?
I don't know. I'm saying you should wait. You should wait to talk.
Come on T-Dab's show.
You're only allowed to talk after the election. But I'm saying you are welcome to talk. But I'm saying I want to have this conversation. Okay. I agree with you, sir. We need to have it, but let's have it after the election.
So it is interesting that we have the president of the United States taking an interest in local and regional Republican politics right here in Lake County. We've never had that before. One, it's something to have the president have any interest in a race that is say, under Senate or congressional race. But then, two, to have it in our backyard is something we've never had to contend with. I don't know how much it's going to impact folks. And I say that because I really think if you're one of these folks that want to vote for the state senator that voted down redistricting, doesn't matter what Trump's going to say. If you are one of these folks that say, hey, I'm disappointed in that state senator, they should have voted for redistricting, I'm going to vote for their opponent, I also don't know how much Trump's sway is going to have on that. So I don't know. I suppose we could have more afterwards. I don't know that I'd find it offensive or disturbing, but I also know that there's low information voters out there on both sides that if they hear a splash like that, it may alter their opinion. But again, having said that, if they if that's the flag they want to run to, I don't know.
Pin in it.
Well, I mean,
okay, go ahead.
It's the. I mean, we've all seen him do what he wants to do, whether it's ethical or legal or whatever. I mean, that's and he's not the first person to do that. And but we've seen it repeatedly with him. And isn't it a little embarrassing that because he's having a temper tantrum, he's putting money into all these other campaigns to fight against it?
Pin in it until May.
Oh, Chuck!
What is that going to be?
Chuck,
May 8th.
What I will say
8th.
is,
let me check the calendar.
I don't know. I don't know how much money is actually being poured into it. You'll see a bunch of these ads, and they're millions coming in from D.C. And you're probably in the tens of thousands arena, but having run campaigns before, I just don't know. I think it's probably more flash of this is what we're going to do than what's actually happening on the ground. And to answer Chuck, yes, we'll find out on Tuesday.
We got to take May 11th, so we'll see what happens on Tuesday. May 11th, we'll have a whole long 2-hour conversation on Mondays with Chuck and Bob.
No, we can go 3 hours.
We can go 3. We can actually go 3 hours.
Okay,
but right now, these monkeys need to take a break so that we can get paid. So let's take a break, and we'll hear some political ads, and we'll be back with more after this.
I've spent more than 2 decades protecting the people of Lake County as a patrol officer, canine handler, detective, and now chief of police. I know what it takes to keep our neighborhoods safe, support our local police departments, and hold the sheriff's office to the highest standards. As your sheriff, I'll focus on strong training, crime prevention, and real partnerships with the communities we serve. I'm Stephen Flores. I'm ready to be a working sheriff you can trust, and I approve this message.
I'm Jerry Williams. For over 35 years, I protected Lake County as a state trooper and interim police chief of Gary. This is my home, and keeping our community safe has been my life's work. I've dedicated my career to fighting crime. Now I'm running for sheriff to get the job done and deliver real results. As a crime fighter, not a politician, I'd be honored to have your vote. Paid for by the committee to elect Jerry Williams for sheriff.
The mission of North Township is simple: help those in need. But today, most receive nothing. The number of people assisted has dropped from 2,200 to 1,800. We can do better. Social event profits don't reach the poor. I'll change that without raising taxes. We need resources, retraining, and a renewed focus on results. As a veteran, entrepreneur, and economist, I bring the experience to deliver. I'm asking for your trust and your vote. Paid for by the committee to elect Dr. Jess Ortiz.
State Senator Dan Darnell was supposed to be different. He promised to fight for Hoosier families and stand with President Trump. He failed. Darnell voted against President Trump's agenda in Washington. That hurt Hoosier families, and he voted to let a Chinese company buy Hoosier farmland, putting China before us. Dan Darnell, opposing Trump, voting like a liberal, letting us down. A disgrace.
President Trump has endorsed conservative Trevor DeVries for state senate, a real Republican who will fight for Hoosier values. Trevor DeVries will stand with Trump, protect Hoosier farmland from China, defeat the liberal agenda, and never let you down. A true America First conservative. The right choice for Indiana. Endorsed by Trump. Trevor DeVries for State Senate. Election day is May 5th. Paid for by American Leadership PAC.
Hi, my name is John Patalis, and I am your Lake County Treasurer. Your Treasurer's office is responsible for the collection of over $1 billion per year in money that belongs to you, the taxpayer. I am asking you for your support and vote on Tuesday, May 5, as I seek re-election to this very important financial office. For public service and not self-service, please remember me, John Patalis, for your Lake County Treasurer. Paid for by the committee to elect John Patalis.
It is 6:44 in the region. You're listening to WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in rustic Hammond, Indiana, and live on the YouTubes. We didn't
plug you in.
You got to plug your microphone in.
Yeah, your mic is on, but
It's like when you give
you quite literally need to.
It's like when you give your little brother the Nintendo controller. It's not plugged in. Just let him do radio for 20 minutes with us.
You think that's funny? My mic's not on.
No, because you're
not plugged in.
So this is what we do.
Because
Jim can come in, but we quite literally unplug his microphone because of the tomfoolery that he brings.
That was really funny about you give your brother, the little brother, the Nintendo controller.
Here, you go sit over there and do radio.
Oh, you're on the radio, Jim. Good job. Keep talking.
Let's do your spelling test, buddy.
Oh, man. Wait a second. Lynette, you're the producer. We're supposed to do weather and traffic.
He's
just started.
He's trying
I'm
to
trying
do the
to.
traffic. Watch that. This is funny. Here, watch this. Go ahead, do traffic.
I don't like doing traffic. Everything, quite literally, in Northwest Indiana is just fine. Route 30 is still closed in Dyer. Everything going into the city is gumming up. I don't know what else to say. I only know the numbers: 55, 294, 94 heading into the merger. Yeah, y'all hold your face, but there was never any, hey, you want to be on the radio? Go to this traffic training there was no traffic training webinar for me. So it's me looking at what's green, yellow, and red.
Can we put a vote out who did better traffic, Tony Panic or Bob Starkey?
Well,
the best part is I don't know that either Tony and I care.
But the best part, Tony just made it up. Tony didn't even open his laptop. He's just like, everything's fine. There'd be a traffic jam. Like 8094 would be shut down, and Tony panicked. Oh, everything's fine. It's like, Tony, the roads are shut down. Oh, okay.
Hold on. Who does the weather?
Lynette.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 42 degrees with highs of 47 and lows of 35. It's going to be mostly cloudy and colder with a shower in places. And tomorrow and Saturday we'll be having highs of 52 and lows of 40. Should be cool with times of clouds and sun. And then Sunday we'll be having highs of 61 and lows of 47. Should be mostly cloudy and breezy with a passing shower or two.
And I'm Joe with sports. He loves that. We should bring him in to do that. We should have him do that.
He's in Connecticut right now.
He can do the sports from there.
I'm going to predict something right now. Okay. You know how we had a really good Jimmy Mulaney taken by the Big Ten Network. Here's Sonny Santana, really good. Oh, Big Ten Network. Rob Aguirre does it. Congratulations.
Forever.
Congratulations, Rob. He just had a baby.
Cute little daughter.
Call him.
We gotta have him check in sometime.
Yeah, we gotta have him a call. Maybe he's driving to Chicago right now. He should call and be like the seventh one in line. And then Semino, I'm gonna predict we'll give him 2 months and somebody else will nab him. Some other sports organization. What do you think? 2 months.
Well, he wanted to move home, right? He wants to move back to the East Coast because it's boring here. Because he's pretty high energy. He doesn't fit in here in the Midwest.
Do you consider this primary season boring? It was until yesterday.
It was until everybody's like, who's paying who?
I said it was so boring that last week you're on the radio going, there's nothing to talk about. You're on with the chief, and you're like, well, you guys you're giving me nothing here, man. You're like, I got nothing to talk about. You're like, I'm bored.
Dave from Crown Point called it yesterday. He's like, yeah, Jed, you're sitting there saying that there's, this is a clean race and nobody's contentious. And then he's like, what do you got to say now? And I'm like, well, wasn't like I didn't expect it at some point. You know what I mean?
Well, you told us not to talk about it, and you come on here and immediately talk about
it.
I didn't
Right?
tell you not to talk about it.
OpenSecrets.org.
Check the receipts.
Check the receipts.
So what? I know there's. I saw. There's a bunch of people lined up to talk.
We've been avoiding it for 49 minutes because you told us to, and then you immediately come on and start talking about it. So let's take some calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning, caller.
Hey, it's me. Okay. All
Hey,
right,
me. Good morning, me.
How's it going, guys? Good morning.
We are good.
You haven't talked about Geno's yet, but hey, would you mind if I brought up some good news?
You have good.
We'd love it.
We'd love that.
Okay, so it's an event. Jed, do you mind if I talk about an event that our church is having tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
This is open secrets.
We're not even going to charge you for it. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is right up Chuck's alley. We're having a bike blessing in our church tomorrow. It's a motorcycle blessing.
I like how you even laughed at that.
I recognized his voice. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, exactly. But Lakewood Full Throttle is having their very first bike blessing at the church tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. Address is 5480 Chase Street in Maryville. If you don't ride your motorcycle, bring a picture of it. Come on out. We're going to have food. We're going to have a bounce house. We're going to have music, just a bunch of stuff it's family friendly. It's not just for adults.
So just to clarify, it is motorcycles, although it would be great if Jed showed up on his little bicycle and went vroom, vroom, vroom. So if you want to go 5480 Chase Street tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
It made that noise.
No, it does. His Huffy makes that noise.
Hey,
so you pull up on your little bicycle.
I think my grandkids like into cars and trucks and motorcycles.
5480 Chase Street tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Do you have to be a member of the church?
No, you just show up and they will bless your bicycle or your motorcycle.
It's open to the public.
They'll bless your stroller, whatever you got.
Yeah.
Bring your Hot Wheels, bring your big wheels.
Our church just merged. We used to be Lakewood Enterprise Baptist Church, and we just merged with Heartland Christian Center. Their closest full-throttle motorcycle church, or biker church as they call them, is down in Hebron, and we thought we'd bring one up to Maryville, which we've never seen anything like this. And, there's a part of the community that still needs have that place to go, that place to plug in. And we're trying to reach out to people who ride, people who don't ride, people with families, with kids. We're just trying to make it more community friendly.
What are you looking at me for? Well, you guys are the hosts. I'm just like stopping in here. Where's my coffee, by the way?
Here, you want some of this?
Both of you guys go to get coffee.
It's okay.
No, but go ahead. No, I think it's a fun event. I think especially with spring coming, I think having a bike blessing and having that awareness, because again, we have some of the worst drivers in the country here in the Midwest, especially in Chicagoland. So I think having a bike blessing, making people aware, reminding people that the bikes will be out, I think that's a great idea.
And it's a fun group of people.
Right.
You know what I would like to see?
Hey, everybody's just really down to earth.
Yeah.
Could you do this also? Could you have a blessing for the bikes, and better yet, the bike paths? Because we've spent so much money, and we've developed some of the best bike
Bless
paths.
those $6 million bike bridges.
In America, some of the best bike paths are here.
You came to the station with good intentions, and
I'm trying to help him here. I'm trying to just be supportive. I think it's a great cause, and I'm glad that there are churches that do it. I'm just trying to. May 11th, we'll talk about it. Good, but no, that's a great cause.
Hey,
we were going to do one for Chuck, but the trains were too big.
That's so pretty.
Here's what we should do. No, here's what you do. I will go out on a bike trail tomorrow morning, and I will bring my super soaker, and I will bless the bikes as they drive by. I will say, in the name of the Father, I will shoot them with my super soaker. I will bring a fire hose out there, and I will bless the bikes as they drive down the bike trail.
The bike trails are one
I'll tell you what. You bring your bicycle. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go first, because you're going to get hung up on in a second.
You bring your bicycle out there. If it has 2 wheels, 3 wheels, I don't care. Motorcycle, bicycle, come on out, have some food, take part of the celebration, get blessed, have your wheels blessed, and We'll make it a package deal for you.
If I show up, which I might, because I get the grandkid on Saturday mornings, and he loves loud engines. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of those there, especially the guys from south of 30 that specifically make their motorcycles louder, because that just is kind of more of a manly thing. You know what I mean? No baffles allowed. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Hey,
okay, let's.
Hey,
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Can I ask you guys a question?
We don't really have a lot of time for that today. May 11th, you can come back on.
Yeah, we have a lot of political ads.
So let's take a quick. We got to take another break. Want to do that? We want to take all these breaks. We got.
It's only been 10 minutes.
Well, as I say, I don't know. I'm trying to get the man paid. Go ahead.
You know, you guys. Look at his shirt. Look at this guy. He doesn't. His shirt is a South Shore logo and it says, "Sorry, I'm late again."
I took the janky.
I take a janky 80s train from Indiana.
You know, we had him on it.
We had
him on. He left all this stuff.
Yeah,
for you.
he's
that's who came on.
This is Couch Wolf. He did the Northwest Indiana Bears.
He's going to make some WJOB shirts.
He's a pretty cool dude.
Oh, you're going to have him making fun of me. He's going to get together with MX.
He does a ton of region rat still mill stuff. I mean, he's a really.
But no, he's got a good
cool
point.
dude.
We're going to make MX Mimis on T-shirts, and we'll have limited edition MX Mimis.
You know, I got a few relatives that aren't real happy about MX putting me in bikinis and stuff
and just
like
wait
that.
Till they see
overly hairy.
Wait till they go to Strax and see it on a T-shirt. Then they're really going to be mad.
Hey, how many calls are waiting?
Oh, so many.
2.
All right. When I walked in, there was 6, so people got tired of waiting.
They heard your voice.
Why don't you take your calls?
Well, let's do that. Take a call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Jimmy, just so you know, you're getting ripped on the chat board today, bro.
This is why we don't read it.
ripped by you.
Man, God, why do you guys even have a show when you let him in there? I mean,
honestly,
if
you watched, his microphone wasn't even plugged in for the first 3 minutes. I swear we tried.
Hey, Jimmy, by the way, your producer's complaining about their lack of wages, and I said, I can't believe Jimmy doesn't pay union wages over there. Kind of shocking. But let's get over to this Jimmy the Greek guy, okay? And with this little attachment that turns out Jimmy the Greek is a big backer of Mr. Flores. That seemed to be a topic of conversation on the radio yesterday.
Right here
with
on
the
these radio
show
waves.
with McDermott and Jason Gore. Huh?
Yeah, no, you're right. Right
What's
here
that,
on the
Bob?
radio waves.
Yeah, and what's the deal with today's programming agenda? Anything going on at 8 o'clock today?
You mean here?
Silence. Good. No, I mean on planet Mars, Jimmy. What show's going on at 8 o'clock today?
Are you trying to promote a show? So what we're doing today? Hold on. Is that we have two paid political shows. One at 8:05.
What might they be?
That is Gore for Sheriff, and then the second one at 8:35 is Manuel. Anthony Manuel is running for what, Chuck? I'm hosting that.
Who the hell is he?
Yeah, so
we'll find out at 8:35.
And then at 9:05 is Veterans Views.
Award-winning Veterans.
We have another show at 10:05, and I apologize, but I don't remember what it was.
You don't have the calendar?
I don't think we do.
Who's got the calendar?
Who's got the calendar? That was funny. There is no calendar.
No calendar, huh?
No, oh my gosh. This is like peeling back the curtain. There are 72 calendars here now that I've subscribed to with the WJOB, and none of them are accurate.
I saw them for one day and they disappeared, so I'm out. Okay, but anyway, go ahead. It's your dime, sir. What's going on?
So what are you calling about?
Well, what I'm calling about is I find it's very interesting. You know, we had a big raid. We put I don't know if these guys, they all got indicted. I don't know if they're all sitting in the pokey now or they all posted bail or whatever they did. But the sheriff race is, not to say interesting per se, but I think it's one of the few times we might have a chance to put an outsider in as sheriff. Because, like I said, the last 5 guys who were in the sheriff's office either got arrested, were involved in corruption, were involved in money laundering. They were involved in gun running. They were involved in fake currency, moonlighting, all these employment issues. And we got a chance to put a guy in there pretty much from the outside.
All right, you're stumping. You're done. Thank you. He's done.
That's fine. But what I want to say is anyone who gets to the level where we think that for the most part the sheriff race has dwindled down to 2 or 3 front runners. And I'm not voting in the Democrat primary. That's not my wheelhouse. But I will say there are no outsiders at that level. Everyone is an insider at that level. And so to say that, hey, true outsiders are these folks that the parties themselves start to buck. And because they don't want outsiders in there. And so I will say, as a casual observer, even, if this argument is between Gore and Flores, they're both. I've met both of them. They're both nice guys, but
look how loud he is, and he's off axis. Like, look how loud he is, and he's not even on his microphone. Nobody is an outsider. I just don't get it.
All right, he's done. All right, so here's the thing.
It's 7 o'clock here in the region. You're listening to AM 1230, 104.7 FM in beautifully rustic Hammond, Indiana.
You need to take a break.
And we need to take a break, but you wanted to talk.
Well, we'll address that sheriff's race.
Right after this. Let's take a break.
My name is Jason Gore, and I'm asking for your vote to be Lake County's next sheriff. I was born, raised, started the family, and worked my nearly 30-year career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer and as an ATF agent, all here in Lake County. I promise to lead differently, restore the public's trust in the Sheriff's Department, and to build a world-class police organization that is focused on serving you. In this election, Lake County residents have a different choice.
State Senator Dan Darnell was supposed to be different. He promised to fight for Hoosier families and stand with President Trump. He failed. Darnell voted against President Trump's agenda in Washington. That hurt Hoosier families, and he voted to let a Chinese company buy Hoosier farmland, putting China before us. Dan Darnell, opposing Trump, voting like a liberal, letting us down. A disgrace.
President Trump has endorsed conservative Trevor DeVries for state senate, a real Republican who will fight for Hoosier values. Trevor DeVries will stand with Trump, protect Hoosier farmland from China, defeat the liberal agenda, and never let you down. A true America First conservative. The right choice for Indiana. Endorsed by Trump, Trevor DeVries for state senate. Election day is May 5th. Paid for by American Leadership PAC.
I've spent more than 2 decades protecting the people of Lake County as a patrol officer, canine handler, detective, and now chief of police. I know what it takes to keep our neighborhoods safe, support our local police departments, and hold the sheriff's office to the highest standards. As your sheriff, I'll focus on strong training, crime prevention, and real partnerships with the communities we serve. I'm Stephen Flores. I'm ready to be a working sheriff you can trust, and I approve this message.
The St. John Democratic Precinct Organization endorses Frank Mervan for U.S. Congress, Mike Brown for Clerk of the Lake County Courts, Gina Pimentel for Auditor, Stephen Flores for Sheriff, Latanya Spearman for Assessor, John Patelis for Treasurer, Stephen Menchek for a 6th District of the County Council. Please elect these outstanding individuals on May 5th. This ad is paid for by the St. John Township Democratic Precinct Organization, Jane Wallace, Chairperson.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have family, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you. And we all want to make it home safely.
People would just take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware of where we're at, where the cone zones are at. We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
It's 7:03 in the region. You're listening to WJOB 12.
It's 7:04. That clock is slow. Taking a quick look at traffic and weather here in Indiana, 8094, 65, Skyway Toll Road, everything looking good. On the Illinois side, 8094, Bishop Ford into the Dan Ryan, Skyway looking good into the Dan Ryan. Quiet traffic here on a Friday. The only real incident I'm seeing is if you are one of those rare people that does Lakeshore Drive, there is some construction around the Balboa area, which is causing some delays northbound Lakeshore Drive. Other than that, everything looking fantastic here in traffic. And how is weather?
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 41 degrees with highs of 47 and lows of 35. It's going to be mostly cloudy and colder with a shower in places. And then tomorrow on Saturday, we'll be having highs of 52 and lows of 40. It's going to be cool with times of clouds and sun. Then Sunday, we'll be having highs of 61 and lows of 47. It should be mostly cloudy and breezy with a passing shower or two.
Well, you guys take your phone calls.
That was no different. All you said was Dan Ryan, 894. Looks good.
No, but what I did is I looked at it and I said, hey, that is a problem. So, like, for instance, if you're one of those people that takes Lakeshore Drive, I know some people like to do that to avoid the Dan Ryan. There is construction in the downtown area, so you will hit that. Other than that, things are looking great. And that's an abnormality in traffic that I want to make them aware of because I know that there normally isn't heavy traffic on Lakeshore Drive. So let's go ahead and take some calls. Maybe they're on Lakeshore Drive. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I decided to check out one of my favorite Mexican restaurants over in Lake Station and decided to nip by the Paragon restaurant in Hobart, and it was closed. How about that? I wonder why.
He's trying to set us up. He's not listening.
It's a setup.
I'm listening.
Okay, go ahead. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it was... the only thing I thought about was... when the FBI showed up there, did they let the customers finish their breakfast or lunch? I think they were there in the morning, right?
There's still 7 bowls of lemon rice soup just chilling in the air.
It's like that thing that happened at the correspondence. There's like one guy just grabbed a bottle. He's like, you know what? You guys raid this place. I'm going to finish my lemon rice soup.
Hey, can I ask you guys a question? You too, Walt. Is it appropriate to make comments about these indictments as the lemon rice indictments? Is that not similar to some sort of slight ethnic slur?
Only if you make it that way. The lemon rice soup is amazing just about anywhere. And, you say Paragon, you think, oh, they have good lemon rice soup. And then there was FBI raids, and they're hauling people out, and they're busting into storage units, and they're trying to figure out who paid who in some political campaign, and whether or not they did it this year or back in 2022. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, sometimes we just say lemon rice.
Hey, let's ask Walt goes everywhere. Walt, who has the best lemon rice soup in the region?
Well, just about any of the Greek places. But in any case, the Times recently had a piece about what's the best the best lemon rice soup, and they designated a steak place on Indianapolis Boulevard in Highland. I can't remember the name of the place. It's on the west side of the street.
Theo's.
Theo's, exactly.
So now, Walt, I still miss Commander. I was there their last day. I always thought their lemon rice soup was a little extra lemony, which I liked about it. So I
thought, honestly, I thought it was a little too thick.
See, that's what I liked about it because I thought the other one was too watered down. It was like I liked the thick lemon rice soup. That's what I liked about it. It had some.
You heard it here first, folks. Chuck likes some thick.
Hey, Walt, do you have anything intelligent to add to these idiots' conversation?
Here, can we digress with Walt? So, Walt, I was trying to set this up, but nobody lets me talk anymore. Our debt has hit 100% of GDP. We're a little over $39 trillion. And I know everybody finds it boring, but to me, that is something that we should be paying attention to.
Dangerous number.
It's a dangerous number.
That's dangerous.
And the biggest problem, Walt, is that there is not even a discussion on the table to address it, right? We've not had a balanced budget. We had a balanced budget for a short time under Bush. Clinton was the last one that really pushed for a balanced budget. I talked to, I forget who it was. Was it Micah Beckwith or somebody who basically said,
"Oh, your buddy?"
No, our buddy LT said nobody in Washington even wants to talk about it. It's such an overwhelming issue that Washington is essentially just ignoring it and moving. It's such a big elephant in the room that they refuse to even talk about it in Washington, which means that they're just going to kick the can down and make it a future generation's problem.
They'd have to stop buying votes.
But I'm saying, this is going to, Walt. I mean, Walt, I've repeatedly said, and I think you would agree with me, this is the biggest problem our country is facing that nobody's talking about.
Oh, yes, that's true. Most people find their eyes glaze over if you bring it up. I didn't know that. What difference does it make?
Right.
Well, what can I say? When the crash, when the serious trouble hits, they'll know what we're talking about. But by the way, you were talking earlier about the blessing of the bikes
blessing
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a Catholic kind of thing. I was stunned to learn that it was Baptist. What do the Baptists do when it comes to a blessing? I know what the Catholics do, but I have no idea what the Baptists do.
Walt, you'll have to go to 5480 Chase Street tomorrow at 10 a.m. and find out. Jim will be there with his little bicycle, and you can say hi to him and find out for yourself.
There's nobody here that knows what Walt looks like. He will be, if he goes there.
Can I tell them the story, Walt? I was at an event in Chicago. Rand Paul was speaking, and I heard a voice in the room. I said, that voice sounds familiar. I turned around, and sure enough, Walt was there. I said hi to him, and we went about our...
So you know what he
I
looks
know
like.
what Walt looks like.
There will only be two people there that know what Walt looks like. He goes he's like a ghost. He's been places and leaves and tries not to talk so that people won't recognize his voice.
Yep.
And I agree. I remember one time I was like, oh, Walt was just here. And like three people at the event are like, what are you talking about? Where's Walt? What's he look like? Who's that? Like, well, he seeps in. You don't know he's there, and then he seeps out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Walt, the number two problem in Lake County is that some people slip flour into their lemon rice soup.
Ooh.
And that ruins it, just so you know.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, no.
All right, buddy. Thanks for the call.
Thank you. We'll be back on Monday. Can't wait to talk real politics with you. Okay, so let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Is it?
Mayday, Mayday. Hey, look, people. Who cares about a bunch of dudes gambling? Who cares about a bunch of dudes gambling?
Can I digress real quick, Brad?
Is coming shortly.
Brad, can I digress because I want
to be all the political people involved.
But I want you because you're a smart guy. I want you to jump in on this. I have often said that what's interesting, again, as an Italian, it's interesting how our government, and you go back to Giuliani and the RICO Act and things like that, it's interesting how our government spent all of this time and resources to eliminate the mafia in this country, only to turn around and use their playbook and say, oh, we had to RICO the mafia because they did the numbers, they had drugs, they did this, they did that. They got rid of the mafia, extortion, usury, all this stuff. They RICO'd the mafia, they turn around and then legalized all of the things that they put the mafia in jail for. Think about that. I mean, honestly.
Right, the mafia is just, yes. Chuck, you're onto it. You're just missing it. The mafia is now the government.
Because why? Why did the government? Hang on. Let me say that. Let me say my line, Brad. Why did the government RICO the mafia? Because they didn't want the competition. Carry on, Brad.
You betcha. You betcha. You know what? It's all about competition, and it's the same thing. Hey, look, all you Democrats, you are on the fire. All of you are, hear me loud and clear. You are going for a central bank digital currency. You want it. It's on your agenda. It's called the CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act. And the Democrats yesterday said it's okay for the Federal Reserve to make a digital currency to enslave you, to shut you down if you have a different political view. Anybody voting for that is anti-American. If you stand on the side of blocking a bill that stops us from being shut out of our money, you are un-American. You will be guilty for the remainder of your life. the CBDC Anti-Surveillance Act. Look it up, people. You know what, Jim? They think you're irrelevant, too, here in the state of Indiana. I'm not just going to blame the Democrats here. We got a problem in Indiana. Jim, are you able to run an ATM at the age of 60 or older?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think I can do it.
Nobody, everybody missed it. Everybody missed this one, too. Indiana has banned Bitcoin ATMs. You can't go to an ATM. And you know why? It's because they said people Jim's age were getting ripped off everywhere. And so people like myself that spent the 10 minutes to figure out what Bitcoin is, what a digital currency is, how to get it from a machine that's not part of their government mafia exchange to buy it on, can't buy it in Indiana anymore at an ATM. How do you feel about that, being close to 60 or older, Jim, that they just made you irrelevant and said, you know what, we're passing a law because we can't let people go to an ATM and buy Bitcoin?
Not only that, Brad, not only that, I had to go get a large money order not too long ago in the bank. They have to ask you like 5 times, are you sure you're not under duress? Are you sure you're not sending somebody's? They literally have to ask you 5 times if you're being scammed before they give you a certified check anymore. Go ahead, Jim. He was talking to you.
It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane, people. They're making you put your ID, your face, everything to get on a computer. You can't even put your own apps on your Android phone starting in October. And everybody in government is guilty. All the Congress. They just let it sail through immediately. No matter how many people show up to make sure a data center is not going to pollute and destroy their entire community, all they do is listen to everybody and then say, you know what, we're going to pass it anyway. Nobody cares. And we are on a railroad train track to nowhere.
We're on a big boy steam engine to nowhere.
All right. Hey, thanks. I'm going to follow up on that.
You should give that guy a show. You should bring him in on Thursdays.
All right. You know what? He hits on something that I believe is happening. And I think Adriana, Lynette, and Joe Cimino are probably part of this. Is that I think that there is such a massive shift and change in everything about our lives is going on right now. And we're just kind of swimming in it and really just maybe trying to run it out to the end or not look at it. But Brad is actually pretty astute on a couple of things, and I don't want to give him too much credit because that would be like, the fuel on the fire. But there is so much digital change going on right now. It is really changing our lives completely, and not all for the good.
So here's the question, and so I look at it this way. I always think back to, for instance, one of my great uncles just turned 100. I've been dying to. He had a party. They live in down. I want to grab some gear and go down and just do a podcast with him and just talk about, do a couple hours with him, cut it up, and whatever.
We can loan you the gear.
I have the gear. I'm just saying I'd have to go down there, but I would love to talk to people that age. Because I think what's happened is 100 years ago, 80 years ago, you understood what was happening. You were able to process. You sat down, you read the paper. People explained to you, like if you're a kid, they said, here's how it works. Here's what's going on. I think things have changed at such a dramatic pace that the average person really just doesn't even know what's going on. They're just sort of trying to get by. Right?
I agree. And I don't like to agree with you because you're usually way off and kind of just out there and really a little bit too aggressive, but I agree entirely with you. I think that all these little issues we're talking about are almost secondary to the pace of change right now.
Right. And so here's the thing, and this is what I said even during COVID. I remember having this conversation with Sam at the beginning of COVID. I said, look, a lot of people are trying to understand what's going on. Why don't we just go on and do radio and just kind of go through things and say, here's what we're hearing, here's what's going on. And just kind of say, hey, we're processing it just along with you guys. And that's what I like to do here on a Monday or a Friday is just say, look, we don't know what's going on. We're here just like you guys, trying to find out what's going on, trying to process this crazy world around us. And then we take calls from you guys. We talk about it, right?
So you, Starkey, I had this conversation with Goddard last night. And I'm like, all right, what exactly is our role? He's like, Jed, you could break this story. You could break that story. And I'm like, I don't know that we're doing anybody any favors by going after ego and breaking a story. I think that we can do what we've always done here, which is process it just like you're talking about. All right, what's out there? Let's talk about it. That's our job.
I had that same thought are we the reporters of the news, or are we the commenters of the news? Because we take calls, and people want to say, they want to talk about what's going on.
Here's the problem, though, is that there are people in this area that know how to manipulate the old guard media. If the old guard media just happens to be in 8 different places when they're being rated, that to me sounds like somebody's being manipulated. So that's the problem, though, is I have a real issue with the old guard media getting played and not being smart enough to realize they're getting played. So that's why I hate the idea of let's wait for somebody else to break the news and then let's just tell you what they said, because they get it wrong. And I've told you from day one, the reason I'm on these airwaves is because I would follow the old guard media, and they got it wrong more than they got it right. And I said, somebody's got to come out and clear these things up, because they're putting out bad information. And that's why we do this. So we can let them break the news, but I also want to get it right. We owe it to your listeners to get it right and not just run with who got played. Somebody got slipped some information and they ran with it and it wasn't accurate.
All right. So look at what you're saying. Oh, yeah, you got to get out there and you got to put it out right away.
No, I didn't say right away. I said you got to get the right story out. I don't care if it's a week later.
That's my point, is that I feel like, I was here 40-some years ago, and when we broke a story, we had it right. I had it right. I learned how to break a story correctly.
Okay.
Now, the story, look at the shooting at the news conference media dinner with Trump. The first 20 minutes was all incorrect and everybody slanting it for their agenda. You see, these whack job lefties. Oh, gosh, of course, if you just flood the country with guns, that's what's going to happen. I mean, everybody used it for their agenda, and there really wasn't anything accurate at all.
Right, and I'm not saying we should be first. I don't want to be first. I want to be best. How about that? We let everybody break the news and get it wrong, and then we digest it. We make some phone calls, just like what did we do last night? We all got on the phone. We started calling people. We started getting information. We brought the information. We didn't go live on the air. We brought the information in and we digested it. And now, when it's time, we can have a conversation about it. Right? We can have an educated conversation because we reached out to people we trust to get that information from.
Well, I think in this case, about something that we're talking about, these guys are kind of mad because I'm like, all right, you guys need to do a little bit more research and investigation of it, and then you could talk about it on Monday. But what I wanted to see verified proof, and I know that
we have it.
I know that I go a little
he
bit.
He doesn't like it, but
it's not like I don't know that you have it. I want to see it, and I want to see that it's verified.
And that's
fine.
Fine.
Talk on Monday
Absolutely.
About things. But back to his point, this last few months, when I was over at sports for 5 years, and I've come back and I hate to say it, but Chuck Pullen was right. Billy Baker was right. Dave Kuziak was right. Verley Suggs was right. Okay? Radio, in and of itself, is very strong, very important, and has weathered the storm of digital onslaught.
And with that, we'll be back with more radio after these messages.
My name is Jason Gore, and I'm asking for your vote to be Lake County's next sheriff. I was born, raised, started the family, and worked my nearly 30-year career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer and as an ATF agent, all here in Lake County. I promise to lead differently, restore the public's trust in the Sheriff's Department, and to build a world-class police organization that is focused on serving you. In this election, Lake County residents have a different choice.
Hi, my name is John Patalis, and I am your Lake County Treasurer. Your Treasurer's Office is responsible for the collection of over $1 billion per year in money that belongs to you, the taxpayer. I am asking you for your support and vote on Tuesday, May 5, as I seek re-election to this very important financial office. For public service and not self-service, please remember me, John Patalis, for your Lake County Treasurer. Paid for by the committee to elect John Patalis.
I've spent more than 2 decades protecting the people of Lake County as a patrol officer, canine handler, detective, and now chief of police. I know what it takes to keep our neighborhoods safe, support our local police departments, and hold the sheriff's office to the highest standards. As your sheriff, I'll focus on strong training, crime prevention, and real partnerships with the communities we serve. I'm Stephen Flores. I'm ready to be a working sheriff you can trust, and I approve this message.
I'm Jerry Williams. For over 35 years, I protected Lake County as a state trooper and interim police chief of Gary. This is my home, and keeping our community safe has been my life's work. I've dedicated my career to fighting crime. Now I'm running for sheriff to get the job done and deliver real results. As a crime fighter, not a politician, I'd be honored to have your vote. Paid for by the committee to elect Jerry Williams for sheriff.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have family, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you, and we all want to make it home safely.
People would just take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at. We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, business manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
We haven't even talked about $5 gas yet.
The gas is $5?
Evidently.
Are we on?
We're on the air, though, actually. We probably can talk about it. You just talked about it, actually.
We just talked about it.
I'm the only one paying attention. I'm watching you guys like having a conversation here.
Clown show.
Well, so now everyone knows that we're just complaining about the $5 gas.
Hey,
how about that gas? And then you just take calls.
What do
for
you
half
got,
hour.
weather, Lynette?
Oh, it's not even prepared.
That's not how we do it here. We do traffic first, sir. This is a Wendy's.
Neither one of you have traffic up.
Well,
And
you didn't ask us to.
If Starkey has it up, I don't care. I don't want him to talk about
Okay,
it.
we do have some traffic to
I'm
talk
okay with
about
that.
here, obviously. So, as Bob mentioned earlier, Route 30 is closed in both directions in Dyer. What do you just call at Kaler by Camet Avenue?
Yeah,
and
the
it's
railroad
closed.
tracks.
When is it going to be open again? On Monday?
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday
maybe.
afternoon.
Can I take over traffic?
No, I'm.
You guys are awful.
Okay, so taking a look at traffic, that's the only major thing to talk about here. So you have anything else?
Mississippi Street is awful.
Mississippi Street.
North, south, I don't know, maybe around, 57th.
Hang on,
in
we
there.
do. Hang on.
And
We actually
it's down to 2 lanes between Ridge Road and Innsbrook there, and it's just, if you can avoid that area, don't go that way.
My traffic is like 16 hours out of date, so somebody else do it.
All right,
mine
hey,
is
294
going
around
out.
the city looks good. 80 looks good going back. The Bishop Ford looks good. Unless you're coming out of the city, it looks like they have an accident somewhere around Sibley, and you got to watch that. Tell people allow a little extra time out of the city, which is kind of odd. Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65. Weather with Lynette.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 43 degrees with highs of 47 and lows of 35. It's going to be mostly cloudy and colder with a shower in places. And then tomorrow on Saturday, we'll be having highs of 52 and lows of 40. Should be cool with times of clouds and sun. Then Sunday, we'll be having highs of 61 and lows of 47. Should be mostly cloudy and breezy with a passing shower or two.
And is there a problem on that just happened?
No, I think that's old. That's what I'm saying. I think I have old data. So if you guys are on 8094, if you see any incidents, let us know. I think my data is old. I don't know. Yours? Is that happening or not?
Is it bad on westbound Borman? Someone call us 219-845-1100. I believe that we're both looking at the same website, and once in a while they pull up like 4 days ago.
Right. It's like 69. So
I don't know what happened.
We're getting reports of an overturned semi on 8094, but I need somebody that's out on 8094 to let us know how traffic's moving, especially westbound from, say, Klein to Indianapolis. But
see, I'm not.
You're on INDOT?
I go to
Okay.
501in.org, the best traffic website
government
for
traffic
for Indiana.
Of course, you're a government guy, and that's why
he has a special password to get in there. Okay.
Well, hey.
So you're saying we're
Traffic's
good.
fine in
Okay.
Indiana on my app.
Okay. So
all right, well, Chuck and I have bad information.
We have bad data.
I'm going to
The AI
explain what
must
I
have
said
done it.
before
Okay.
we went to break. I have had people close to me, including my own wife, but Chuck I would consider close to me, like one of our longest enduring friends. He's right. Billy Baker close to me, Kuziak close to me. and a few others are like, dude, man, you're over there messing with the sports and you're putting kids on TV and stuff, but radio is really strong and you need to spend some time with it. So at January 1st, I said, all right, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at it. We're going to move to our old studios. You guys didn't even care that we painted everything.
It's nice. I like.
I get here at 5:15 in the morning. It's pitch black.
I like the new shade of gray. It looks fantastic.
Anyways, we're putting some money into it.
He's like, why didn't you notice I painted the gray floor gray? It
At
looks
the
fantastic.
exact same time that all this is happening, all these stats are coming out. 90% of adults listen to radio in a week, AM radio and FM radio in a week. And that cable's gone way down. Newspapers gone way down. Other areas have gone way down. Radio has stayed strong and is as strong as ever right now for the past 20 years. And, I have to somewhat apologize for kind of putting WJOB off to the side burner while I built a sports network. But you were right all along, and I just couldn't get there. And it wasn't just you. It was the other people around me. So
I'll take the win. I'll take the W. But again, reminder though, before you came here, did you ever grab a transistor radio and listen to the radio regularly?
No.
So again, if you want to, you always talk about those generations. I was that kid that sat in the back seat and listened to WJOB as a kid. We need to make sure we're thinking about that next generation.
You didn't ask the right question. Lynette, do you ever sit down and put a podcast on your phone?
I used to a long time ago.
What, you don't do it anymore?
Mm.
Why not?
People don't talk about interesting stuff these days.
There you go.
Well, you do have Mondays, but I mean, just saying.
So
Except for Dabberton.
So
Boy, he's the best.
that generation, if you ask them if they've listened to podcasts, I think it's like 98%.
No, but that's what I'm saying is you talked about the 100 years of WJOB. That's how we grew up listening, waiting to hear about school closings and things like that. That's how we got introduced to WJOB. That next generation, we need to make sure we have that digital presence because that's how they are going to find us in the next generation. So that's my point is we can still do radio, and that's our fundamentals. That's our bread and butter. We need to make sure we have a good foundation, but we also, I know you hate all these computers, but that's how we keep engaged with the next generation.
And you tuned in to the staff meeting here at WJOB. We're
That
going
could
to
have
take
been an
a
email.
caller here at 7:30.
We should do a live staff meeting with calls. It's great. Take a call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Boom, boom.
Hey, how's it going?
Wonderful.
I don't
How
know.
are you?
I'm listening to Jed over there, and Jed's the same age as I am. And Chuck is playing the music, Jed, right? And I hear you say he's too progressive and he's way out there. So Chuck's playing the music, and you're listening to the music. And you know the old saying, Jed, what do they say? If the music's too loud, you're too old. I'm glad that you're admitting that, that you've neglected the station, and you got to let these guys run, Jed. They know what they're doing. You're like the old guy who thinks he's, that the place isn't going to run without him, but, you got a great group of people there, and you just have to keep expanding on it and expanding on it. Just let these guys go, Jed, and listen to them. The music isn't that loud.
Wow. That was really prophetic.
I made sure. I told Lynette before the break. I said, "Make sure you're recording this."
Yeah.
I'm going to cut that up.
Somebody this guy texted you, said he was going to call in and say that.
I have no idea who this is.
We approved the text.
Hey, listen, you're
my
right.
favorite caller.
There are times in your life where you can only do one thing, and that has been one thing. But I think you're right that the next generation is finding audio. Okay. They're finding audio, and to some extent, they're finding radio, believe it or not, statistically. But mostly they're finding it in clips and in podcasts and online presence.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to digress for a second. My daughter asked me for a record player last week. Somebody messaged me and said, "Hey, do you have an old VCR?" Because my daughter is collecting VHS tapes. I mean, again, it's cyclical. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. That's why everybody calls me, because I know I've got a basement full of junk. They're like, "Hey, I have 3 VCRs in the basement." Sure.
I can't imagine. Have you been down there, Starkey?
Where?
In his basement?
No.
But my point is,
I'm declining that invitation also.
But my point is that the next generation is asking, like, they want to hear records. They want to watch our VHS tapes. They want to see that snapshot of what was happening, in the 70s or the 90s or whatever. So again, it's fun to see that. It's fun to see that next generation that wants to see that and wants to be a part of
so
that.
can I ask a caller, can I ask you to do something for me?
Yes.
We are, mostly Lori and I and kind of Chuck and maybe 5 or 6 other people, we're kind of loosely trying to map out a strategy for the next couple of years. And I'm looking for suggestions. Starkey's certainly on that. So if you have suggestions, just email them to me, will you? Jed at WJOB1230.com. I'm open.
Okay.
I'll listen to it, and then I'll probably just text you back or email you back and go, you know, that was a stupid suggestion. But it might not be, right?
Hey, one other thing, Jed, and I know it's near and dear to your heart, the traffic and weather. Jed, nobody cares too much anymore about traffic and weather. It's a filler. People have the apps on their phones. I know that you love it. I know that's one of your things, but it's not as important as you think it is.
The only,
all right, I'll take that as a...
I hate the Berkshire bubble.
No, here's...
And I know you love it. I hate the Berkshire bubble.
I will...
I know you love it, but it's not that important.
I will push back just a little bit and tell you, here's what I kind of do.
Go ahead.
Here's the only thing I'll say is, as somebody who, like even the other day, I had some people from out of town. I said, you have to factor in when you're doing stuff in Chicago. You have to factor in that Chicago contingency. Like even the other morning, I get on the highway and I'm getting messages from Paul Goddard saying, hey, there's a police chase on the Dan Ryan. There's times you get on, the Bishop Ford's closed because of a shooting. So, I mean, there are times that happens. It's not like, yeah, you're right. We don't need to necessarily every 5 minutes do traffic and weather, but it's good to say, hey, heads up. There's something going on Lakeshore Drive. If you're heading, because you get used to it. You're like, hey, I'm heading to Lakeshore. Like, hey, don't go that. I kind of want to just give people a heads up. Hey, something out of the ordinary is happening this morning.
Well, then you can say, hey, something's going on. But for the most part, I mean, who doesn't just, if you're going from point A to point B, unless it's around town, if you're going to Chicago, you're probably going to put it in the GPS, and it's going to tell you the best way to get
But
there.
even the Route 30 thing, I had several people got caught by that, and they're like, hey, what's going on Route 30? Because they didn't go that way regularly or whatever. So even stuff like that, where it's like, hey, something different happening. Route 30's closed for a week instead of 12 hours. It's just like, hey, heads up, something different's happening.
Caller, who's going to win the sheriff's race?
You know what? I really don't care because it's like this. I would like to say that whoever gets in there is going to fly straight and they're going to be clean for their 30-year career. But until I see that happen within the politics and within the departments, until you tell me that there was a guy who was a sheriff for a long term and had no incidents, I don't know. You could pick whoever you want. I really don't care.
You sound like a Lake County guy. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Finish it. Call back on Monday. We talked to our.
All right. So let's comment on this.
Okay, go ahead. You first.
So first of all,
Bob,
I have been saying all along how surprised and dismayed,
how bored you were at this race.
Yes.
That's what you said. I was bored.
Yeah.
I've
Well, I mean,
been
at
very
one
bored
point
at
in time, all races, the most exciting thing to pop up was whether or not the auditor was showing up. I mean, that was as exciting as it got.
The Peggy Katona versus Pimentel thing. So two things have happened that are very interesting, and they happened right here. Okay? Which kind of brings me to my point. Like, I've been over here on sports for 5 years, and all of a sudden I look and I go, man, there's a lot of cool things happening on radio. But anyways, number one thing is that, as you could tell, we got significant purchases against Dan Durnell. And President Trump and the folks around him are following through on what was basically a threat to go after kind of small-time Indiana legislators who voted against redistricting, which is the number one topic, especially since they changed the Voting Rights Act this week.
Right.
That is going to be the number one topic for as soon as this primary is over. That's all we're going to talk about, okay? Dan Durnell voted against it, okay? Everybody, Democrats and Republicans, are saying, well, Dan Durnell is a good guy, and if you're with Trump, do you go with Trevor DeVries because Durnell turned his back on Trump, is basically what they're trying to get in the Republican Party. And will they get it? That is a beautiful, dramatic point to watch, right? At the same time, I think in voting, and I'm in this in this. I'm like, I don't really like to declare anything because it's the funniest part is like 15 years ago, I'm sitting down with Dan Durnell, whom I've known since I was a little kid. And he's like, well, you're a Democrat. I'm like, well, what do you mean I'm a Democrat? I just, I go in there and probably vote about half and half. He goes, no, in 1994, you pulled a Democratic lever. And I'm like, well, in 1994, I pulled a Democratic, or whatever year it was, I pulled a Democratic lever so I could vote for Dave Kuziak in the Munster town election. That's why I took it. And I pulled it so that he would become the guy. And he goes, well, that's what's on my thing, and you're technically a Democrat. I'm like, okay. So the irony would be that if I didn't vote in the Democratic primary, which I'm not, and I go in there to support my friend, Dan Durnell, and pull an R so that he could get one more vote, I think that a lot of people will not be voting in the Democratic primary and will pull an R just for that. That's my prediction.
There was a lot of people going back to the heavily contested congressional race with McDermott, Mrvan, et cetera. There's a lot of people that Bob and I knew on the Republican side that were upset because everybody was pulling a D ballot because they wanted to be a part of that race, and they sort of neglected there was also a heavily contested Republican race. So
what's that?
You're pulling up his voting record?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one check. Kuziak's like, you better get out there. You better get out. He calls me. All right, I'll go over there, and I pull a D. One time. There it is. And but anyways, so if I pull an R for Durnell and only vote in one race, I don't know anything else.
Right.
That would just be one race I'll be going to vote for. Then all of a sudden that's what you're considered. Now, the irony is that Durnell brought that to my attention. I didn't know that it worked that way. So that is a very dramatic point to see if it's basically Donald Trump versus Dan Durnell, and let's see what happens.
So
right?
what we're going to do is we're going to invite one or both of them on in May, and we're going to have that discuss. I'm saving that. Again, you don't want us to be influencing things, so we're going to come in on the back end and talk about the calculated risk that Trevor is taking and Dan's taking in this race, and we're going to see how it works out. And we're going to talk about it on the back end.
Okay, let's look at the other race.
Okay,
right.
So that's
the sheriff's race. Every four of the major candidates, Jenkins, Williams, Gore, and Flores, have all come here and had a presence.
Right.
All right. And we could go through all of the different ones. Yesterday, and the whole way through, I was making fun of them about how clean and how much they're not arguing like they should be. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm a sports guy. I want to see people. I want to see the game go down to one team's down by one and they have the ball with 5 seconds left. Okay, and I want people competing at the highest level. And these guys are all shaking hands at candidate forums, and they're coming here and they're seeing each other in the Labor's 41 green room here, and everybody's getting along. That all changed yesterday.
And we'll be back to talk about that after these messages.
Hi, my name is John Patalis, and I am your Lake County Treasurer. Your Treasurer's Office is responsible for the collection of over $1 billion per year in money that belongs to you, the taxpayer. I am asking you for your support and vote on Tuesday, May 5, as I seek re-election to this very important financial office. For public service and not self-service, please remember me, John Patalis, for your Lake County Treasurer. Paid for by the committee to elect John Patalis.
I've spent more than 2 decades protecting the people of Lake County as a patrol officer, canine handler, detective, and now chief of police. I know what it takes to keep our neighborhoods safe, support our local police departments, and hold the sheriff's office to the highest standards. As your sheriff, I'll focus on strong training, crime prevention, and real partnerships with the communities we serve. I'm Stephen Flores. I'm ready to be a working sheriff you can trust, and I approve this message.
My name is Jason Gore, and I'm asking for your vote to be Lake County's next sheriff. I was born, raised, started the family, and worked my nearly 30-year career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer and as an ATF agent, all here in Lake County. I promise to lead differently, restore the public's trust in the Sheriff's Department, and to build a world-class police organization that is focused on serving you. In this election, Lake County residents have a different choice.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have family, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you, and we all want to make it home safely.
People would just take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware of where we're at, where the cone zones are at. We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
I'm Jerry Williams. For over 35 years, I protected Lake County as a state trooper and interim police chief of Gary. This is my home, and keeping our community safe has been my life's work. I've dedicated my career to fighting crime. Now I'm running for sheriff to get the job done and deliver real results. As a crime fighter, not a politician, I'd be honored to have your vote. Paid for by the committee to elect Jerry Williams for sheriff.
7:45. Why not? I think we're on the radio. I'm not sure.
We are on the radio.
Okay.
I am Bob with a wet towel, Chuck Pullen, and station sort of owner Jim Deedlow.
There was a time Bob thought, he's like, I finally have my own show on a Friday. I'm just going to come in and do it my way.
Now I'm over here just struggling for oxygen because I got Tweedledee and Tweedledum over here. Like, who's, what's with the sheriff's race? And we know it. Yes, they were all nice until their handlers said, we need to spice it up because our internal polling looks like it's tighter than we want, and so we have to zhuzh it up a little bit.
294 around the city. I disagree with that guy entirely, and I'll tell you why about traffic. It's not like most people are like driving from their house to their office. They don't care about, but we would lose a lot of the Chicago commuters and a lot of cross-region commuters if we took traffic off, because it's not that that's what they're looking for when they leave their house. It's that now they don't have to go to that app. Now they don't have to go somewhere else, and they know we're going to get the latest accidents.
But also to his point, though, there was a time like on news radio, it'd say Dan Ryan, 28 minutes, and this, like, we don't need to do that anymore because you have your app and you know. But I'm saying, we should be on top of it and say, hey, the Route 30's closed or this is going on, because people just sort of get in that habit. I'm going to get on the road and start going, and we want to give them a heads up and say, hey, this is going on today.
So there is a big accident on 294. So if you're going to the airport, either one, it happened in Elsip, and it's backing all the way up to the I-57 crossover. That's a big deal. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford is good on the way in, but it's bad on the way out because of an accident between Sibley and 159th. On the Indiana side, everything moving along well. What do you got with weather? Can I go play golf later afternoon today?
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone.
It's going to be pouring. Like, do whatever you want.
Wait till the lightning starts and go out there with your clubs, old man.
Today we're at 43 degrees with highs of 47 and lows of 35. Should be mostly cloudy and colder with a shower in places. And then tomorrow on Saturday, we'll be having highs of 52 and lows of 40. Should be cool with times of clouds and sun. And then Sunday we'll be having highs of 61 and lows of 47. Should be mostly cloudy and breezy with a passing shower or two.
All right, I just got a text. There's another check out in the mailbox, so just make sure we pick that up. All right, so we were talking about the sheriff's race.
We were talking about how funny I was. Oh, you want to talk about that's fine. We can talk about that.
So, Bob,
let's save that for Monday.
You've been doing the shows. Chuck's been traveling around the world, evidently. And
I was hanging out with Herbie Hancock this week. Great guy. Anyway,
all right, listen. Go ahead. So
the
we've
Friday
been
show
here
with Bob and Jim and Don Quixote.
Yeah. So it was boring, and then all of a sudden, McDermott came on here and dropped the bombshell, and you can go look at it. And I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to influence this race. If somebody wants to buy time and influence this race, that's up to them.
Coming up at 8:05.
Yeah, I mean, and so that's what we're supposed to do. Colby warned me about this when I was 22 years old. Lynette in your early 20s or mid 20s, this is the most sensitive time. And many of the people, we're talking like 14%, I'm guessing, somewhere in that area. And so many of them listen to us, and we have to take that seriously. And if they don't listen to us directly, they're associated with people who listen. And so the reverberations of what happens here is very important, especially in these local primaries. And you have to hold to the traditional values. We're just talking about that. So what has happened here is there's been a complete flip in everybody getting along. And it was exactly kind of how I thought it would transpire. I'm like, all right, this is building. They're all going, shaking hands. But when you have some of the people that I know that are involved, you know it's going to break. And
that's where breaks. I don't know if it was either of the candidates. I think it was their campaign infrastructures that. Let me tell you this. So I've got a few races that I'm working on, and I've done this for years. I have done this for a decade plus with elections. And if you are not exceedingly nervous and scared the 2 weeks before the election, you're doing it wrong. And what happens is folks think, hey, I've done all of these things, but at this point, mail, text messages, things, there becomes less and less things to do as you get closer to Election Day. And people start to panic, and they're like, we need some activity. We want the big mo. We want the momentum going into this. And so I don't know that it was either of the candidates. I think it was just their apparatus saying, go, say these things, do these things.
So that becomes the question is you have candidates that are all good cops. I'm going to stand by what you asked me last week. I'll say the same thing. You've got a full slate of good cops, and they made they had a handshake agreement to try to keep it clean. And that becomes the question is this something where did they break that, or did their handlers break that? Do we hold? I mean, in this race is also an issue of who knows who's being handled by who. Do you hold that against people because of who their campaign manager is, or et cetera? And that becomes part of the equation. Like you said, you told me, what did you say that last night? You said you knew this wasn't going to last. I was hoping it would. I was hoping that we would for once have a race where the issues would be the issues and they would come together, and we would actually get through an election cycle without a Jackie Sutton incident. We almost made it. We almost went without a Jackie Sutton, and now we have our Jackie Sutton. And
so, Starkey,
go ahead.
Yeah. There's 5 or 6, 7 cops. I don't know how many are in this thing, right? But there's a lot of cops. I mean, maybe this election cycle where everybody tried to do it right way, and then all of a sudden it broke at the end because we knew it would, right? Maybe this is teaching us that structurally we need to take a look at having cops become politicians. I'm sorry. I've never liked it. Back when I worked here in 2020, when I was 22 years old, looking at the sheriff's races, I'm like, why do we make a cop go become a politician for a year and a half to get a job? And I'm like, this should be, in my mind, the sheriff's office should be an appointed position.
Well, and let me go back to my other point that I made last week, was that you look at a position that is managing the largest budget in Lake County, and that becomes the question: is that a police officer position, or is that administration? So just because you're a good cop, does that mean you're also going to be a good administrator, a good manager? And that becomes the question: is you have to look at all these guys. They're all great cops. Which one is going to be able to manage a large budget? And that was one of the concerns we had with our current sheriff and his baggage was, is this the right guy to be managing such a large budget? And now look where we are.
There's another part to this, and this is the street level part that I tried to kind of make interesting, but everybody was avoiding it. And that is that I think it was fairly evident when McDermott was sitting right where I am right now 24 hours ago, and you could almost see it in Flores' face when he was sitting right where you are. And I'm like, listen, I've been a sports guy all my life, and I know when these two guys get together and one's on one bench and one's on the other coaching, that they don't like each other. And they're trying to be, gentlemen about it, but they don't like each other, and all the people around them don't like each other. And you have Hetfield and McCoy's playing out in a basketball game, and I've seen it. And then my guys are like, hey man, you can't comment on that because that's really because his son-in-law dated that there, and it's all whatever it goes back to. They don't like each other, they hate each other, and that's it. Now the reality of this situation, as far as I see it, is that there is deep divisions between the Flores family and the McDermotts. And I knew that eventually this was going to fissure and that it was going to spill out into the public realm.
Yeah, and so thanks for making Lake County your Hatfield and McCoy. I mean,
So we've got a few minutes left before the Gore campaign does a historic, what do you call it, a simulcast?
Yeah, I'm going to get off because I have to test the technology. Okay. Johnny Vesmar and I have been working
on it. So about 10 minutes,
hey,
we're going to
have
for
letting me go. You guys have made it
and
through very difficult waters. It is very difficult waters to maintain the traditional values of we are not going to influence this election. We're just going to let it unfold by the people that want to unfold it in their own time. And you guys, and I have to congratulate you. So thank you.
May 11th.
You know what? I congratulate you, Starkey.
Yeah, mainly
I
you.
have real trouble giving Chuck Pullen any sort of kudos more than I already did today.
Oh, off air, it was amazing. There was a love fest over here. It was
I'm not even looking at the comments. So why don't we got a few more minutes before we have to go, and we'll have Gore for Sheriff in at 8:05. Live historic simulcast from the Lock Pod Studios down in Munster. So in the meantime, let's take some calls. So good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning, caller. Sorry, we got to wake you up. Wake up.
Yeah.
I know it's been a while.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. The best sheriff I ever voted for was a guy named Chris Anton. That was many moons ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to ask the boss over there, when Larry Peterson was running his show, did Colby ever walk in there and start talking? So I got a suggestion. Next Thursday, when he's on the air, you guys are from St. John and Dyer, get about 7 or 8 band members from Lake Central and show up over there with horns and drums and all kinds of things, tambourines. And,
dude,
have a sit down.
Yes,
sold.
Let me sold on that.
Bring in a jazz band.
100%. I'll think of something for next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
What? Okay. Hey, Jed, did Colby ever walk in on Peterson? Is what the caller's asking. He just gave me a look. It's a good. So that's a good point, caller. He never did.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take another call. Can we take a call? Is he busy? There. Okay, go ahead. Let's see what. Oh, there they are. Okay.
Hey,
good morning.
How is everyone doing?
Wonderful.
Tell you in about 10 minutes. Go ahead. What's going on?
Good. This is Marine Pete. I got some insider tips for you.
Uh-oh.
If you want a vacation, good and cheap, I know that the economy's tanking and everything's going up. Just turn off your cell phone, and it would be the best vacation in the world. So.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good
No,
time.
I don't disagree with you. I tell these guys all the time, I don't look at the comment section. I don't even try to play with my phone during the show. I try to focus on what we're doing and the calls and not get derailed by angry text messengers telling me to take their calls. But, you're right. I mean, you know what, Marine Pete, I once joked I went to Cuba one time. I said the best part of going to Cuba is my cell phone didn't work for the entire week. I could barely check my emails.
As a guy who was just on ship for 2 months straight and didn't have any contact with the outside world other than email, it was the best because you get in with this community and you talk about things that are pertinent to your community, and all the malarkey outside of this, it just means nothing. And with all the other things going on, there's only 2 days where a human is perfect. The day they are born and the day they die, and everyone talks great things about them. There's dirt on everybody. So I'll take that for what it's worth.
Hey, man, I had to come back on and say hi to you, one of my favorite dudes in the world. Hey, thank you for serving, Mike, also, man. How many years now, Marine?
18 years. So 18 years in June.
Oh, you're coming up on that 20-year cliff, aren't you?
Kill. Yeah, brother, yes.
right, man.
I really enjoy the radio. I really enjoy the radio station. What happened to the actual commercials, though? Is that something we're going to go put back in?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Right now, everything is all politics all the time. That's what's
politics and cone zones.
Yeah.
But we'll be back to normal programming on Wednesday.
Hey,
probably.
Pete, good to hear you,
have
buddy.
A great day.
Okay.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, let's power through. We got a couple more calls. I'm getting heart palpitations. Go ahead.
No, there's no more. This would be. Are we gonna?
8 o'clock hard cut.
Okay, well then we'll wrap up.
Okay, early voting from 9 until 3 today, 9 until 3 tomorrow, 9 until noon on Monday at all of the early vote sites except for the county building in Crown Point. It's 4:30 today, 4 tomorrow. It's supposed to rain on Tuesday, so make a plan to vote. Go vote.
All right, so let me make this announcement. Give me a minute just to make sure that
you got 1 minute.
One minute.
So we are going to go live to Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott and Kevin Smith's studio. It's actually at Kevin Smith's law offices, and this is going to be a paid show for Gore for Sheriff. And they're going to do it there. And you're going to just I'm a little worried about feedback. That was my problem. And
I'd be more worried about an FCC violation because I've listened to that podcast before. But go ahead.
They've agreed not to swear. All right. And I will text them again to remind them not to swear.
People get comfortable in their studios, just saying.
I know. And so we'll keep an eye on that. But no, this is we are doing more of this. We want more guests to Zoom in and to Riverside in. And they have a studio. Pretty soon, Starkey's going to be doing his show from his house. This is the world that we live in, but you're right. So stay tuned, and it's going to take a little bit, and I will make sure, but at 8:05 they should start, and it should be a paid show. Okay? Chuck?
It is 8 o'clock in the region. You are listening to WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. Everyone have a great day, and we'll catch you next week.
The St. John Democratic Precinct Organization endorses Frank Mervan for U.S. Congress, Mike Brown for Clerk of the Lake County Courts, Gina Pimentel for Auditor, Stephen Flores for Sheriff, Latanya Spearman for Assessor, John Patelis for Treasurer, Stephen Menchek for a 6th District of the County Council. Please elect these outstanding individuals on May 5th. This ad is paid for by the St. John Township Democratic Precinct Organization, Jane Wallace, Chairperson.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have
Elevate
family,
your brand.
and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you. And we all want to make it home safe.
Combines innovation and take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware of where we're at, where the cone zones are at. We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
My name is Jason Gore, and I'm asking for your vote to be Lake County's next sheriff. I was born, raised, started a family, and worked my nearly 30-year career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer and as an ATF agent, all here in Lake County. I promise to lead differently, restore the public's trust in the Sheriff's Department, and to build a world-class police organization that is focused on serving you. In this election, Lake County residents have a different choice.
I've spent more than 2 decades protecting the people of Lake County as a patrol officer, canine handler, detective, and now chief of police. I know what it takes to keep our neighborhoods safe, support our local police departments, and hold the sheriff's office to the highest standards. As your sheriff, I'll focus on strong training, crime prevention, and real partnerships with the communities we serve. I'm Stephen Flores. I'm ready to be a working sheriff you can trust, and I approve this message.
All right, everybody. AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM. We are going to go at exactly 8:05. These are paid political shows. I want to remind everybody that I know it's tough right now but right now it is political season, and we are selling as much time as we can to get everybody get their opinions and their candidacy out to you. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to talk here for a little bit, I think another 40 seconds, and we're going to go to Munster, and this is going to be a paid show, okay? And I got to remind them to say that in there. So there we go. I'll just text it right now. And so there it is. So let's see right now. Hold on. Here's the test.
Your stream circuit.
There it is. So we are going to go to them at 8:05 exactly. So give me a second here. It's just modern radio. Here it is, taking her way on a paid show.
Exciting, huh?
And from Munster, and it's 8:05.
2, 1.
Good morning, Northwest Indiana. Welcome to WJOB Simulcast Live with Lockpod, Left of Center podcast. This is a paid show. I want to thank Jim Dietelo. This is the Midwest Most Dangerous podcast. Jim Dietelo helped us come up with that. Coming to you live from the Lake County studios. Jim, how you doing over there?
I'm doing good. Can you guys hear me?
Never mind. We're simulcasting, meaning we simulcast on JOB.
I thought we were working together on this.
Jim, can we restart? Take 2.
Hey, everybody, this is Mayor Tom McDermott here in the studios with Kevin Smith, my co-host, along with Jill Gajewski and John Vesmar. And we have a special guest in our studio right now, Jason Gore, who's running for Lake County Sheriff. Welcome to the studio, Jason.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing?
Great, man.
Welcome back to Lockpod.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
This is history we're making right now. We have a humongous audience.
Oh, wow.
Live from all over Northwest Indiana.
With a cast of thousands.
That's right. I hope so. Tens of thousands. And you're going to make history on Tuesday.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to.
Jason, I want to remind you we're on the radio, so you got to watch your language. Okay?
I will watch it ardently.
Yeah, because we don't want Jim Dietelo to get sued.
Absolutely
That would be a horrifying event.
I would lose sleep.
Jim's like, why did I do this?
I love it when Mayor Tom talks to himself. He's like reminding himself.
All right. Hey, we're here on the live simulcast with Jason Gore, a husband, a father, and a newly retired ATF agent. Worked with the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, where he was in the ranks for the last 20 years. Born and raised in the region, Jason began his award-winning 27-year law enforcement career as a Maryville police officer and detective. From humble beginnings, Jason, and that is very true. Jason grew up with a single mother, right?
Yes.
Jason is proud to have had an exemplary career marked with integrity, earning top secret security clearance in the United States, and most recently putting him as the ATF on-scene tactical commander of the 2024 Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Jason believes there's a better way to improve public safety and Lake County's future, and it's not falling on the back of what's been done before. Welcome to Lockpod again, Jason Gore.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah.
Awesome to have you in the studio, Jason.
Yeah, we are 4 short days away.
Who's
from
counting?
the election?
Who's counting?
Every day.
I know you love me and I love you, but yeah, I'm not going to talk to you for like 2 weeks.
I get it. I'm going fishing.
I'm going in my RV.
Yeah, I'm going fishing.
Everybody's like, where are you going? I'm like, I have no idea. It's going to be pointed south where it's warmer, allegedly.
So, Jason, how's it going on the camp, just in general? Because for those that maybe haven't heard from you before, but I think a lot of people have by this time because you're everywhere. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in the campaign and how everything's going.
So there's a lot of things going on in the campaign. Interestingly enough, for me is I've been running for over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
I retired in March, announced in April, and been running ever since. It feels so odd to be at the finish line of this and knowing that this is going to be over soon. In the process, I've met a ton of great people, had some great experiences. I've built a wonderful team, that we talk to every day, and you build friendships and confidence and and trust, and you strategize. You do everything together. I will say that it'll be a different posture, I'm sure, after I win and moving into the general. I'm sure it's going to be a dogfight, but nothing like this one. But I am looking forward, to bringing all of our efforts to the end and doing the things that we need necessary to win.
Our team is really, I love our team.
Yeah.
It's a great team. It really is. It's 100+ of active workers in your campaign, which is totally impressive. And the thing, I was sitting there the other day after our last staff meeting, which was real fun, right? And I was like sad a little bit. I was like, damn, we have one staff meeting left. All these young kids we have working from Purdue, all the diverse room that we have in age and race and where they live, all these people come together. We've been doing it once a week for months and months and months. And now it's like our last one's tomorrow. The last big staff meeting is tomorrow. And then after that, it's never the same after this, Jay. I remember my first campaign and I look back on it fondly, but this is special what we have right now.
Oh, sure. I don't know. I mean, it's just the way, I knew that coming into this race that in order to win or have a really fair shot that I needed to build a team and an organization. And I certainly could have not imagined that I would have built a team and had the support, of people around me. Certainly, people like Mayor Tom, that bring that political acumen here that frankly I did not have. And it has been a real ride. I've enjoyed it. I am looking for it to be over just for the, conclusion of it. And let's bring on Tuesday. Everybody, please get out and vote. Even if you don't vote for me, vote.
No,
please
stay home if you're not voting for Jason. You could be nice. I don't want to be nice. Yeah.
Jason, one of the things that kind of struck me when we were just talking about the campaign team is that, your experience in the federal government was also running teams through there as an ATF agent, a special agent in charge, deputy special agent in charge, throughout on big cases. And I got to tell you, being an attorney for 30+ years now, right? I've been in federal court. I've been in criminal cases. I've been involved in stuff like that. It is always impressive to me on how efficient, how professional, and how just get to it the federal agents are. And you're one of those people, right? You were one of those people for decades.
Yes.
And so that's what's impressed me. Do you want to talk a little bit about just your federal experience and how you think that helps and what it will bring the professionalism it'll bring to Lake County?
So, with ATF, we are a small agency. We had about 2,500 agents worldwide. And any success that we have is through partnership. And in fact, one of our mottos for years at ATF was no better partner. And I believe in that. It's true. We like to pride ourselves on being a street level federal agency. So we get out and grind with, all of our state and local partners, and those partnerships matter. Any success I've had in my career, has come through partnership.
I like that motto. No better partner.
Yeah. That was ATF for years.
That was my experience working with you on the worst of the worst violent cases that we'd have.
Yes.
You guys would come rolling in and we were always happy to see you.
And the Hammond PD was happy to see guys like Jason and ATF and the men and women of the ATF
because of the resources
and the resources and the help
and Kevin. And ultimately you're charging that person that committed the violent act with a federal crime as opposed to a state crime.
Correct.
Which is federal crime is much more stiff sentencing, much worse accommodations, quite frankly, than a state would provide. And Jason, so when they would come rolling in, there was no better partner, in my opinion, when the ATF came rolling in.
Yeah, that it's, working with Hammond, for instance, there was a time that I had 2 Hammond PD task force officers assigned to both of our task forces. And you talk about a force multiplier, not only for ATF, but also for the city of Hammond. And we had, task force officers from Gary, Chicago, Merrillville, Sherrillville, Hobart. I know I'm forgetting some people, East Chicago, state police, county police. I mean, these are the partnerships that you form. And you go out and you do good work and you set the mission, you identify the bad people and take them off.
That was one of my, I'm sorry.
No, go.
One of the things that's pleasant about being his campaign manager was the number of contacts he's had with officers across Lake County has really helped us a lot because, you'd go down to the Lowell PD or you go down to wherever you're going, whatever police department, Maryville, whatever. And there's officers that work with Jason
and know him.
And they're like going around their department like, oh my God, this guy is great. You got to support him. So the law enforcement support that we've received is because of that role. In my opinion, it's been outstanding.
Yeah, I tried to practice what I preach when I was out there in the field working. And when I was a boss supporting the men and women that I led, building those relationships and trust, they understand that, we're going to make the best federal case or state case out there. That's our goal, right? I don't care where it gets prosecuted, frankly. There's no special stars by my name if it goes federal or state. It doesn't matter. Let's make the best case we can
and put the bad guy in jail.
Put the bad guy in jail.
I love it. And by the way, just a reminder, this is simulcast at Lockpot on WJOB AM 1230 and This is a paid program on WJOB.
Yeah, and you could subscribe to LockPod while you're here. All you WJOBers,
Please do.
We don't compete very often. You could listen to us anytime. You could still listen to WJOB and Left of Center podcast. Just find us on your favorite streaming platform.
Jason, I want to ask you a question because this is, and I actually want you to toot your horn a little bit here. One of the things again that impressed me was just the numbers. Like when you are on the stump and you're explaining to people the number of gang violent offenders you've taken down, the number of murders your team and your partners solved on the streets. Can you just give us those? I mean, those numbers are so impressive.
Yeah, just to quantify them. So, it was over 100 gang members. I mean, just in the Latin King RICO case alone, which that was worked with Hammond PD, East Chicago, FBI, ATF, state police, and of course, always the U.S. Attorney's Office. And we did 52 defendants in there, and we had nine homicides solved.
Just in that case alone,
Chris Godey and I worked very hard on that. Stu Henson, who was now with ATF, we worked very, very hard. Marty Chanupa was, he was from county. He was part of that. And, through those partnerships, we were able to exploit all of our assets and really take a bite out of that gang. In fact, I mean, we knocked out what was then known as Waco, the Goslin Street Latin Kings. That's just Hammond alone. But then we went to the north side in East Chicago and hit them. And then we went to Black Oak and did the Black Oak Kings as well. And huge impact.
He's arrested a lot of people.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff. See, and that's what I know you're going to bring that to the county. I know you're going to bring that experience and those connections in the federal government to the county. And you've got you're the candidate, in my opinion, that has that experience. You're not running a small town police department. You're not running that someone that doesn't even work in law enforcement anymore. You've done it, and you're going to bring those resources to the county. I mean, I think for the most part, I would think citizens of Lake County want to hear, oh, we're going to have a sheriff that has brought down significant bad guys before.
Yes. Kevin, what's funny about being his campaign manager is sometimes when you're in the political process, you're working with people that have had brushes with law enforcement.
Sure.
Okay. There's people in politics that maybe their spouse was arrested, or maybe they themselves have been arrested and they've been on the wrong side of the law. Okay. And unfortunately, it's true when we're campaigning for office, we run into people that are elected officials or significant influencers, right, that have had brushes with the law in the past, right? So I bring Jason someplace and I'm like, hey man, you got to meet this person. They were super important in this town we're in. He's like, no. I'm like, wait. He's like, I arrested her husband. I'm like, what the fuck, Jason?
Oh my, yeah, there we go. All right. So, Jason, let me ask you this real quick.
Oh, no.
Let me ask you this.
That's going to be expensive. That is going to be expensive. Come on. Jim literally has been texting every 2 minutes. Don't cuss. Don't cuss.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Let me just ask you this about things like that. And the idea that what you're going to do in Lake County is to bring those resources to the county. How does that happen? How do you get those partnerships together so you can, as sheriff, let's say you're sheriff right now.
Right.
How do you make sure and make the calls to get the federal folks into Lake County?
So
how easy is that?
So, well, it is very easy because it already exists. So you have HIDA, which is the high intensity drug trafficking area. So we have Indiana HIDA that's based out of Lake County, ATF, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, Secret Service. They all have task force there that need to be supported by our state and local partners. And having task force officers assigned to those gives you that bridge into federal prosecution in the partnerships. So that mechanism already exists. The things that I want to focus on is enhanced intel capabilities coming out of the county. Ideally, I would like to have a county-wide intel center, but it's not the sheriff's intel center. So it would be Hammond PD's intel center. It'd be East Chicago's, who already has a very good one. Gary's, Crown Point, where everybody adds to it and takes from what they need. And then we're able to layer some analysis to take, data into information. That's, and then having the feds support that is probably the last real thing that we need to tap into.
One of the other things, and this isn't trust me, I really enjoy seeing Maverick, the golden retriever, at the campaign headquarters.
Yes.
And I mean, but the reality is as great and cute and lovely that Maverick is, right? And is that he actually it's important to talk about that part of you, that what animals mean to you, this whole idea of making sure and your commitment to the animal shelter in the county and your relationship with Indiana Humane.
Yeah, so Humane Indiana I've sat on the board there for about 7 years now. It's been a great experience for me personally. It allowed me to use another part of my brain. So much of what I do in law enforcement is, comes out of this side of my life and my brain and my thought process. And then joining this organization allowed me to think differently, to use, the business acumen that I do have, and it's been really healthy for me. It helped round me out a little bit. I met great people, and I mean, who doesn't love animals, right? It's they do great work there on both, dogs and cats, but also on wildlife. It's a great mission, great people, very, very dedicated.
Awesome.
I mean, the staff there, the volunteers that we have is incredible, and now pointed that towards the sheriff's department. We have the Lake County Animal Shelter there that frankly needs help. And, I think that I have a formula by which we can improve the infrastructure there, bring it up to standard, and really make it vibrant again, and do it, through in partnership with the public in general, but also with some of the other animal welfare organizations in Lake County, which what it should be.
That's great. We're going to bring Mayor Tom back out of the penalty box.
Yeah, man. I apologize, WJOB. Deeply. That was a total accident. I get a little too loose in Lockpod Studios. I apologize to Jim and the audience for what you heard earlier. It's not going to happen again. And so anyway, coming back, I don't want to focus too much on it, but I do apologize. So
sure.
Yeah. You're back. Go ahead, Mayor.
Something significant happened in Lake County 2 days ago, I guess. Right. I mean,
Wednesday, yes.
I think it caught us all off guard. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, there were rumors, but I mean,
I heard a lot of rumors.
Yeah, we hear a lot of rumors.
Over the years, I've heard so many rumors that have turned out to not be true. So I take it with a grain of salt when I hear rumors. Mm-hmm. So we heard rumors, and then I woke up on Wednesday. I was in Indianapolis, and I started getting a lot of pictures sent to me of raids taking place throughout Northwest Indiana. That was your old job.
Yes.
You've been on those, right?
I have been on those.
Yeah. I thought, and obviously we learned there was a big gambling ring in Northwest Indiana. Centered out of Geno's in Maryville.
Yes.
Right. I guess the Paragon and Hobart also.
Yes.
And the main target of all this was a gentleman goes by the nickname Jimmy the Greek. It was Jimmy Jaradimos, right?
Yes, sir.
You've arrested that person before? Is that true?
I did not arrest him. He had a former federal explosives case against him. I was the undercover in that case.
You were the undercover. So you're very familiar with this person?
Well, yeah, I mean, I had one real interaction with
him.
You
were part of the team that they gave him criminal charges.
Yes.
You've actually done undercover work.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, listen, not extensively. The thing about law enforcement for me getting into ATF was I wanted to do everything. So, I kind of wanted to be a utility person. So I wanted to do everything from, tactical, to management, to undercover work, to drugs, to homicides. I just wanted to really do everything. So, yeah, I have done. I mean, nothing to the degree that others within ATF have done. And I won't even match resumes. But on this case, I was the undercover.
So it's interesting, though. That was 10 years ago. This person, Jimmy Jaradimos, what the owner of a couple of restaurants, including Geno's.
Yes.
Geno's in Maryville, by the way. There's a Geno's in Dyer that has nothing to do with this.
That's
I do
right.
want to point
That's
that out. So, and they're still open, and I'm sure that they took a hit on their business. So if you want to be a good person, go to Geno's in Dyer and visit there, right?
It's a great place, too.
It is a great place, But so basically, obviously this whole thing is just another black eye for Northwest Indiana.
It is.
What's your thoughts on this? I went through campaign reports a couple nights ago after this happened, and I noticed that no candidates running for Lake County Sheriff accepted money except for one.
Yes.
And I posted about it yesterday.
Yes, you did.
I mean, this was not with your authorization, but did you think it was fair what I posted? I pointed out that Steve Flores, the police chief of St. John, took significant donations from two of the indicted people. And also one of the vehicles used to chase an undercover agent was a Local 81 vehicle. And Chief Flores took $5,000 from Local 81.
Yes. Yeah. It just, just one little offshoot on that is, I know there's been a lot of attention about the use of the union vehicle, and that is in no way, shape, or form a reflection of the good men and women that work within that union. And I want to say that.
Agree.
And I don't have any communication or any relationship, I should say, with that union, and never have. But
Local 81, I don't even think they're really. There's mostly centered in Porter County.
I was going to say they're
Local 41 is those are our
41
guys.
is
Kevin Roach and those.
Kevin Roach. Those are the Lake County laborers, right? So and this is a Lake County race, and you would think that Local 81 would focus on Porter County, which is where they're mainly present. Why are they getting involved in a Lake County Sheriff's race in the first place?
Yeah, but neither here nor there. I
Kevin?
just wanted to express. I just wanted to express that is not a reflection of the hard work that those.
I agree, but like what I'm saying is, it's confusing when you have a local from another part of the state that jumps into a Lake County race, and they're not only jumping in, they're dropping big money on the chief of St. John, and of course, I pointed out they're also chasing undercover agents.
Well, one of their union members was arrested as part of the indictment, and it's the allegations against him are that he was kind of the muscle, for lack of a better term, of that organization.
He was the muscle. I mean, I know a lot of people are laughing because he doesn't look like a very intimidating person, but like the fact is, he got paid 50% commission to chase bad debts and threaten and extort and do whatever you had to do to get that money back. And if he gets $5,000 back, he gives $2,500 to Gerodimos and he keeps $2,500 for himself.
Yes.
That's mob stuff.
Yes.
And by the way, he donated to the police chief of St. John.
Yes.
And he chased an undercover agent in a vehicle that was owned by Local 81. Local 81 gave $5,000 to the chief of St. John.
Yeah,
These are bad conflicts.
Yes. Yes.
And by the way, the chief of St. John also took money from Jimmy the Greek, the main target.
Yes.
And if Chief Flores is successful and becomes the next Lake County sheriff, he's the one that's going to have to police Jimmy the Greek and his crew of mobsters.
Yes.
I don't get it. So I posted that, and it pissed a lot of people off yesterday.
Yeah, and just a reminder, these are allegations, and the indictment still have to be proven in the court of law, but that's what the allegations are.
Yes. Okay, it's pretty extensive allegations.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I read all 87 pages.
It was quite a read.
It was like a mob book.
Well,
like
I think what I would say, and again, this goes to what Jason used to do, right? I mean, it goes to show you how thorough federal investigators are. This wasn't like, oh, we did it last week.
Dude, this was like 2021, 2022. Text messages.
So that's the freedom that federal agents have, is that, as a local detective, you come in to work and there's a bunch of cases on your desk that you have to attend to, knowing that then, within, 1 or 2 days, you're going to get another pile. So we have the flexibility to invest ourselves in cases that we need to. We also have the resources and the patience to really vet these out from tip to tail and work these investigations and come up with all this, right? We use legal mechanisms to get there, to collect the evidence necessary. And that's really, that kind of flexibility and lack of having to deal with things day in, day out, like the grind at a PD is different. So, yes.
Yeah, I think that's great. So you've got 4 days to election day.
4 days.
This has been kind of a race that is getting heated, more and more heated, I think. And Mayor just pointed out one of the things why.
I know. I mean, because I don't think this is something you gloss over. I think, honestly, what happened the other day in the Facebook post I posted yesterday, I think that's a big moment in the campaign. I really do. I don't think that. Now, if I was Steve Flores and Tom McDermott came out and made the allegations that said, you accepted, I'm running for sheriff. Let's say Tom McDermott's running for sheriff. And Steve Flores comes out and says, Tom McDermott took money from the guy that chased an ATF agent, the union whose truck chased the ATF agent, and the main target of the investigation. I would immediately hold a press conference and say, that's all true. It's not appropriate that I'm running for sheriff and I took that money and I'm refunding every single penny I took, because it's a bad look. Because if I'm elected sheriff, I'm the one that's supposed to police these people. Right. And they're trying to buy me off even before I'm sheriff. So instead, what they do, the Flores camp, they just get mad at me and they start attacking me. And by the way, in fairness, they pointed out I took $500 from Gerodimos when I ran for U.S. Senate. Okay, true story. I did. I didn't know it until they pointed it out. But guess what? I was running for U.S. Senate years ago, and I'm not in charge. If I would have won that race for U.S. Senate, I would not be in charge of policing Gerodimos and his group of mobsters. There's a lot different if you're running for Lake County Sheriff and you get greased off by a crook, as opposed to the U.S. Senate candidate that took in millions of dollars.
Yeah, I think again, the way I look at this, well, a couple of things. One, I was surprised there wasn't a comment back from the campaign just to respond. Okay,
still silence.
Yeah,
still silence.
Number two, I think it goes to what I mentioned earlier, just that like we're kind of in this continuous pattern of seeing kind of like the local influence in the sheriff's department. And, it goes back several sheriffs. And to me, that's why Jason's such a fresh candidate.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go back too far to see you had gun runners running out of the sheriff's office.
When that was under all due respect, I'm not trying to be a jerk. And he stopped talking to me because I said this on JLB the other day. It was under Roy Dominguez.
Yeah, and
when
Roy,
he was sheriff.
And just to be clear, Roy was never accused of doing anything wrong. And he was
sheriff. Never in legal jeopardy.
Correct.
It
He
was
was
his
never.
people.
And Roy's an attorney. We know
Okay,
Roy.
Kev.
But I mean, it was under his command.
Okay, but you're like making it clear. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, Roy has nothing to do with it.
Right.
Okay, I guarantee if Tom McDermott's police department and Hammond PD was running gun parts all over the country and selling them and making money, you think that's not going to stick to me as the boss?
Of course it does.
It does.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Roy. It sticks to you. You had people working for you. And by the way, one of those guns was used in a cop shooting, if I remember correctly.
There was an armed standoff in Pennsylvania
with one of the guns that was bought by the Lake County Sheriff's Office.
One of the parts from the guns that
Right.
was bought. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's bad. We could say it. So under Roy, it was
there were federal indictments when Roy Dominguez was sheriff of people that worked for him in the sheriff's department. Absolutely. Next
True
sheriff
story.
in, JB, John Bunsich, ended up in federal prison for taking bribes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then currently, Sheriff Martinez, who we both supported in the past, Mayor, has had just a kind of like spotted record, right? He got in trouble for a traffic issue that we talked about extensively here on LockPod. And then, within the last 6 months, 8 months, there's been issues with the commissary funds. Those have been reported in the paper, in the local media. So again, I think the idea here is Jason's a fresh start. Jason's a fresh look. He comes from a federal background, and he's going to bring that into the sheriff's department. That's what I love.
If you want to break the string of, so we had problems from Dominguez, we had problems from Bunsich, we had problems under Oscar Martinez. If you want to break the string, don't send the chief from St. John, who uses the exact same team, back to this office. Send Jason Gore, the retired ATF agent.
Yep.
We got 1 minute left on WJOB. I'm sort of relieved, I'll be honest with you.
8:31.
I feel like my arms are tied behind my back in here. Like, I can't talk.
Wait till we're off, JOB. Look out.
Jim's like, please get this over with. I apologize to everybody for my comment earlier.
We do have to remind everybody this is a paid program on WJOB. We're simulcasting here from the LockPod Studios, Left to Center podcast. Please subscribe and like us.
Subscribe, like. Thank you to Jim Didolo at WJOB.
Yes, thank you.
We're not
Jim.
going to end our show here when we go off there at 8:31. We're going to close out with Jason. But
Yeah.
to the WJOB audience, you got 40 seconds left with us in a first ever simulcast, maybe the last ever simulcast between WJOB and Left to Center podcast. Coming to you from Left to Center, we have John Vesmar, the producer. We have Jill Gajewski, who's our co-host. We have Kevin Smith and myself, your main host, Jason Gore, running for Lake County Sheriff. Lake County, don't forget to go out and vote for Jason Gore by Tuesday.
Early voting today till 3 p.m. Tomorrow, Saturday, 9 to 3. And on Monday, 9 to noon. Your local polling place is open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Tuesday election day.
This was a paid program. It was a simulcast. This was all Jim Didolo's idea. So thanks, Jim Didolo. We appreciate you. Take care, everybody on LockPod. We're going out for WGB. Bye-bye.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have family, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you, and we all want to make it home safely.
People would just take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at. We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, business manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
I'm Jerry Williams. For over 35 years, I protected Lake County as a state trooper and interim police chief of Gary. This is my home, and keeping our community safe has been my life's work. I've dedicated my career to fighting crime. Now I'm running for sheriff to get the job done and deliver real results. As a crime fighter, not a politician, I'd be honored to have your vote. Paid for by the committee to elect Jerry Williams for sheriff.
My name is Jason Gore, and I'm asking for your vote to be Lake County's next sheriff. I was born, raised, started the family, and worked my nearly 30-year career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer and as an ATF agent, all here in Lake County. I promise to lead differently, restore the public's trust in the Sheriff's Department, and to build a world-class police organization that is focused on serving you. In this election, Lake County residents have a different choice.
I've spent more than 2 decades protecting the people of Lake County as a patrol officer, canine handler, detective, and now chief of police. I know what it takes to keep our neighborhoods safe, support our local police departments, and hold the sheriff's office to the highest standards. As your sheriff, I'll focus on strong training, crime prevention, and real partnerships with the communities we serve. I'm Stephen Flores. I'm ready to be a working sheriff you can trust, and I approve this message.
Is my mic on? There you go. Let's just test. Can you give me just a little bit in my ear? Anyways, that was a historic broadcast, everybody. We went from the Lockpod Studios, and they were live, and it went 99% well, correct, Lynette? Yes. But anyways, that was historic, and we'll be doing more of that where we go to another location for broadcasting on WJOB. It works well when we do it with sports, and now we're doing it now. I'm just talking while Lynette gets everything organized here. My name's Jim Diedlow. I'm the owner here. I'm going to start at exactly 8:40 here for this show. But don't forget, we have sports all weekend long. Excellent boys volleyball, softball, and baseball. We're actually doing the CCAC tournament in baseball all day long. So if you're looking all weekend long, so if you're looking for just good amateur baseball, you can go to Heartland Sports and just watch it there. All right, we're going to start it right now. Hey, everybody, AM 1230, WJOB and 104.7 FM. Also live on the TuneIn app and also live on YouTube on the WJOB 1230 stream. As you guys well know, it is political season and it is primary season. And as you have heard, a zillion spots and a zillion shows. And we're going to continue on with that. And I am personally honored that so many people are deciding to tell their story about their candidacy here so that you can make an informed vote. And we're going to continue that one on. We're going to talk about the Lake County Treasurer's race with Anthony Manuel. And how you doing, man? Thanks for choosing us.
Good morning. Thank you for hosting. I appreciate you.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to move your mic over here because you're going to tend to not look that way. So let's just like do this cozy thing, like we're, one of the cozy podcasts. Anthony Manuel, yes. MBA, right?
Yes.
Where'd you get that MBA? I'm going to ask you to get on that microphone, all right? There you go.
Indiana University.
Bloomington or up here?
Northwest.
So you went there?
Yes.
And when did you graduate?
I graduated in 2021.
2021? Where'd you come out of? High school and all that?
Well, actually, I got my bachelor's degree from Calumet College of St. Joseph, and I went to Horseman High School here in Gary.
Does not exist anymore.
Does not exist anymore, just in our hearts.
All right. It's just a little trivia. All right, I'm going to ask this out there to all of the listeners. All right, do you know what the Horseman nickname was? I know you know. Think about it. You're listening to a political show, but anyways, he's a Horseman guy. I love Horseman guys, but tell people what the nickname for Horseman was.
It was Man. It was Man. That was the nickname.
No, it was Man.
Right.
But it was the Horace Man what?
Horseman.
Horseman.
Yes.
That is such a cool name, man. And remember East Chicago Roosevelt Rough Riders? It's like, why doesn't anybody call themselves the Horsemen or the Rough Riders anymore? Now it's like the Flash or the Pride and that kind of thing. But anyways, he's a horseman, and he's in here talking about wanting to be Lake County Treasurer. So, what are you doing now?
I am the CRA officer for First Savings Bank of Heckwish.
So you're a banker?
Absolutely. So I'm in community development. So what I do every day is I make sure that financial institutions deposit and basically invest in the communities that they serve.
So I have Donna looking at me from out there. Anthony's volume is okay? All right, cool. So you're a banker.
Yes.
But you live in what town?
I live in Gary.
You live in Gary. And have you ever run for a political office?
I have. I have run for County Council 3rd District last election cycle.
Last election. So you got your taste.
Yes.
And it didn't turn you off?
No, because I have a heart to serve. So public service is a lot of what I do every day at the bank, and it's what I plan to continue to do at the Treasurer's Office.
What do you do at the bank?
I am the Community Reinvestment Act officer. So what I do is I manage the bank's philanthropy. And I also make sure that we provide access to capital to communities that we serve. So there's a federal law, the CRA Act, which provides that low to moderate income communities are provided access to lending and traditional banking products. So I design those products for those communities.
So, have I met you before?
You have.
I met you at Purdue, right?
Yep, at the Chamber.
At the Chamber.
You
I
have.
remember that now. We were at some function, and you and all the other bankers knew each other, and it
Right.
wasn't that, I think it was kind of a low turnout for the function. And so we all wound up sitting around. I go, and then you guys all started talking banking jargon, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of boring. I'm leaving. But I did get to meet you there. That's right. So you're working with the bank. Started in Illinois, but they have a pretty good imprint now here in Indiana. Is that right?
Yes. We also have a branch here in Hammond.
Yeah, you have a branch here in Hammond and
Highland, Crown Point,
yes.
Dyer, St. John. Yes.
So you've been a part of that, trying to get even more ingrained into the community, going to stuff like that chamber dinner we were at.
Yes.
So, all right, let's talk about what your tagline is. You handed it here to me, and it's kind of an interesting one because you're saying a banker for a banker's job. What do you mean by that?
Well, that's exactly what the Lake County Treasurer Office is. It's the county's bank. The treasurer has the discretion to direct the deposits that it collects each year to a financial institution. So I want to cut that middleman out. I want to be a banker for a banker's job.
So, what about, all right, so the Lake County Treasurer's Office has a lot to do with taxes, right?
Correct.
And collecting taxes and making sure you get them all in there. What's your platform on that?
Well, what I want to do is I want to digitize that process. I want to be able to provide online and mobile access to be able to pay bills. I want to decrease any fees associated with doing that. Right now, there is a 3% fee that is levied on all credit card transactions. I look to get that fee waived so that our taxpayers have the absolute easiest opportunity to get their taxes paid in a timely fashion.
So you have best practices in the banking industry. I went and got an MBA too. I didn't really know they were so voluminous. I knew them from the trading world when I was at the Board of Trade for 20 years, and all of the regulations and all of the watchdogs that are looking at you. But there is basically a set specifically from the banking industry. Do you think, are you trying to transfer those into the treasurer's office, or what's the plan there?
Absolutely. The word's taken right out of my mouth. It's the science of compliance. In community development, there is what they call a safety and soundness principle, and we want to make sure that those safety and soundness principles are applied and compliance are applied in the treasurer's office. And there has been several issues plaguing the treasurer's office over the recent years when it comes to compliance, when it comes to auditing. As you know, that office has not passed a clean audit since 2022. The incumbent treasurer has played basically musical political chairs for the past 30 years. Jumping from this office to the auditor's office, and that has resulted a trail of tears for our community. And that's the reason why I'm here today, is to kind of discuss that pattern of behavior that's happened in those offices, the treasurer's office to be exact.
So you're an outsider trying to get in this game into the Lake County Government Center. What's that like right now?
Well, there is a culture of corruption that surrounds Lake County Government Center, especially in the treasurer's office. And what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to clean that up. I'm looking to bring in the science of compliance. I'm looking to make sure that the office is auditable. The S&P pulled our bond rating. So I don't know if you know that or not, or the listeners knew that or not, but because we could not pass an audit, the S&P pulled our bond rating, which affects lending. So when we want to provide new schools, or you're looking to build bridges or infrastructure, the county is going to pay higher interest for those loans. That costs our taxpayers. It costs $2.8 million for forensic accountants to come in and clean up the mess left at the treasurer's office so that we can pass our audits. And that comes directly from our taxpayers. And there's a cost involved in that.
So, basically you're talking about modernizing things. I mean, there are a lot of processes that are kind of left, it's the county, okay? What makes you confident that you're able to basically bring private industry practices and apply them to the public realm?
Well, public and private partnerships. As a business person, that's what makes these type of relationships thrive. What I look to do is find an institution that's interested in having the county's $1 billion deposit annually come to its financial institution. And with that, we want to be able to leverage that relationship and modernize the county and modernize how we accept payments, modernize the access of having real-time transactions online. When closings happen, being able to go to our website and see that in real time. It's very, very possible. From that cell phone there, you can do pretty much anything. You can pull up a sports book and gamble on a basketball game in Turkey if you like. So why not be able to bring that modern efficiency to the county?
So just to be clear, you're not betting on basketball games in Turkey, correct?
Absolutely not.
But you could.
You could from that phone. And just like you could from your phone, you could be able to see real-time transactions from the Lake County Treasurer's Office. You should be able to pay your taxes from a mobile app. That is a very real possibility.
Are you not able to do that now?
No.
So, I mean, you're talking about digitizing everything, which we've done here, and it took a lot and took some money. And then you're talking about, well, really what you're talking about is transparency. And I know that's one of the main things on your platform. How does digital conversion relate to transparency?
Well, it gives you access in real time. So you're able to view transactions as they happen. So you're not waiting for, days on end for transactions to update. You have them in real time, and you're able to have the functionality of doing things like paying your taxes, the convenience of being able to do that, much like what happens on a mobile banking app. The access you have with that, the transparency you have with that, being able to pay bills online quickly and efficiently.
So, we kind of look at your background in banking, and which is kind of odd for a guy that has communication skills. Typically, bankers don't. But you look at a financial background, but ultimately this is a political office, and you have to get into that political game. You know exactly how many sheriffs, cops are sitting right there, and they've been thrown into that political game. And I always ask them, I said, well, how are you dealing with the political process? How do you feel about it? Is it what you thought it would be? I mean, just give your reflections. It's basically coming as an outsider.
Well, I look at this office. I view the treasurer's office as the least political of the offices there, because, as you said earlier, this particular office requires transparency. And it requires the level of service that you would get when you would walk into a large financial institution. The taxpayers and residents deserve this type of dignity and clarity and accuracy when it comes to their finances. We have a lot of hardworking families here in Hammond, here in Northwest Indiana, that pay their taxes and pay their taxes on time. They deserve to have the accuracy. They deserve to have the transparency. Lake County deserves better out of this treasurer's office. And that's what I plan to bring to it. I look forward to being able to serve. I look forward to be able to provide an elite experience when folks walk into the treasurer's office. So I look forward to that challenge.
So in terms of the functioning of the treasurer's office, and you got the auditor's office, you got surveyors, you got sheriffs. I mean, all these people are actually running now, and many of them have been through and sat at this table. What is your reflection on how Lake County government as a whole operates?
Well, what I've seen is a culture of corruption, to be quite honest. I have been given information that today we have a convicted felon that is operating as a tax clerk in the treasurer's office. I've seen the cronyism of that particular role. I've heard different stories of how an individual who's been federally convicted of a financial crime is allowed to have access to the most sensitive records of our county. And I think it's just time out for that type of cronyism.
So let's go back. Most, the WJOB audience, they're listening, and quite frankly, typically the treasurer's office doesn't get that kind of attention. Like you've seen the sheriff's thing is just kind of blown up here on WJOB, but we get an idea that you're the county's bank. But right now, people are struggling in terms of their money. So, I mean, how do you? I know as a CRA, community relations, you're dealing with that regularly on, daily on. What would that experience of understanding that people are hurting right now bring to the treasurer's office with you?
Being able to be in our community and meet with different folks from many different walks of life, and people having those kitchen table conversations. After they have those conversations at home, they come to the bank to have those conversations. And you are exactly right. People are hurting. Utility rates are high. The cost of living is high. Inflation is high. What we want to do in the treasurer's office is make sure that you're getting every single deduction that's allotted to you. You want to make sure that if you are a county resident, that our office is auditable, so that when it's time to do capital improvement projects like build bridges and build infrastructure and roads and build schools, that the county is paying the lowest interest rate on those loans possible. I also want to make sure that we have access to capital like business owners like yourself. One unique thing that I mentioned earlier that the treasurer can do is can direct where those deposits go every year. So that $1 billion that comes in from the county each year, the treasurer can direct what financial institution that goes to. And you want to pick a financial institution that's going to lend to entrepreneurs like you. You want to pick a financial institution that's going to be able to lend and do mortgages in our community. You want to lend to a financial institution that's going to engage with first-time home buyers and help build and stabilize communities. These are the type of partnerships that don't exist in the treasurer's office right now. And I briefly want to touch on one thing that I think I heard Treasurer Patalis talk about on your show before, is the tax sale. The tax sale, which is one of the largest tax sales in the state of Indiana, has left a trail of destruction in its path. We've had fraudsters that were able to infiltrate the tax sale, owing over $200,000 in delinquent late property taxes, allowed to bid on Gary properties, hundreds of Gary parcels. You've had a homeless shelter that was caught up in that. You had a church that was caught up in those fraudulent bids. They had to pay tens of thousands of dollars in order to redeem their property from this fraudulent scheme that was perpetrated on the Lake County tax sale. Families were hurt. And, all the time where the county our offices had been unauditable, families were continued to lose their homes. And it just doesn't affect Gary. It's a trickle-down effect to the whole county.
We are talking to Anthony Manuel, a banker for a banker's job. Anthony is running for Lake County Treasurer. I think there's 2 people in the race on the Democratic primary side. And, I'm getting an idea. I mean, we've talked, but never really, about you and what you're doing, really. I think it was a sports conversation, if I remember correctly. But I get an idea of that, what you want to get in there. You'd be definitely an outsider. First day you walk in, it's going to be, who's that guy, right? Pretty much, right?
Right.
I mean, there's people down there that have been there 40, 45 years and be like, who's that guy? They don't know you. And that would be really odd to have somebody come from the outside into that position. So here you are with the WJOB audience, and many of them vote. Let's go back to you. Okay, so you grow up if you're a horseman, you're somewhere near downtown, right?
Absolutely.
What were the cross streets?
I grew up on 4th and Taft Place.
4th and Taft. I forget where Taft is. Taft is east. It's west of Broadway. How far?
You're coming down Broadway. Let's see, Grant. So that'll be your next major cross.
So it'd be between Grant and Broadway, or on the other side?
On the other side.
Yeah. Okay. So on the west side of Grant is Taft.
Right.
And so you're getting close to West Side area, right? Not quite yet.
Closer to Horseman more than West Side.
So you come out of Horseman. How many years were left when you came out?
I think the last class of Horseman might have been 04, 05, right up in there.
Okay, so you got a lot of years in the banking industry.
Yes.
Did you know that when you were growing up at Horseman, you wanted to be a banker?
Absolutely not.
What did you want to be?
Not. Well, my dad worked in the steel mills. My mother was a school teacher and ended up being an elementary school principal. I thought that I would follow the footsteps of my father and be in the steel mills, what I thought was going to happen. But he did not want that for us. He didn't want that for me or my brother. So they instilled early on that education was basically the passport to opportunity. And my mother instilled that in us, and to this very day. One of her sayings is, your education equals your net worth. So invest in yourself, invest in your education. And I've been blessed to do that. My dad was 100% VA Vietnam veteran. And with that, I was able to get an opportunity to go to undergrad and have that paid for through the VA, which was a blessing. And I continued my education at IUN Northwest to get my MBA, my master's in business administration.
So what did you... there's a lot of people driving around that have that story. Oh, my dad or my grandpa or my uncle, come out of the steel mill, and it's a specific culture and a specific experience. What'd you learn from your dad that has propelled you in your career?
Resilience, being able to fail at certain things and not lose value in myself, being able to pick myself up, dust myself off, and go to the next path or the next journey in my life.
So your dad worked in the steel mill. Which steel mill?
He was at LTV.
He was at LTV, which no longer exists other than as part of
Cleveland Cliffs.
Yes.
Yep.
And what mill was he in? Do you remember?
He was a crane operator.
So he moved around a little bit. So your mom started as a teacher and then became an elementary school principal. Is she still around? Or
she is around. My dad has passed away.
Yeah.
But my mother is still around. She's retired. She was with Michigan City area schools.
Okay, so she
for
was
30 plus years.
And she was at a which elementary school?
She retired out of Park Elementary School, I believe.
Near the downtown area there.
Correct.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to ask that same question. You got a hardworking, anybody who wakes up in the morning and goes from 4th and Taft and goes into LTV is a pretty tough dude. It doesn't matter who you are. You're not going to make it if you're not. But your mom wakes up and drives all the way to Michigan City and works as a teacher and then as a principal. What did you learn from her life that you've carried into your career?
I would say education. I think that was the number one thing that she instilled in me, and I took that away. As she transitioned from being a teacher and getting her administrative license to become a principal, a lot of those times I spent a lot of time sitting outside of those classrooms, doing my homework. Because, she picked me up from school. We go to her class. I'm sitting outside her class in a desk doing homework. I remember quite vividly one of her instructors was Dr. Vernon Smith. And I used to sit outside that class at IUN. And I used to hear and listen and run and get coffee and run and get snacks and bring things in. And I think seeing that representation of what education meant to her meant a lot to me.
Wow. I knew Vernon Smith well, also, he and I were on a committee, the sportsmanship committee, and he's sorely missed on our committee, believe it. So here we are at the very end of your show. It's Anthony Manuel for Lake County Treasurer on the Democratic side, a banker for a banker's job. I ask people to look at that camera right there, and you got about 45 seconds to tell people why you should be the next Lake County Treasurer.
Lake County, it's our time is now. Never in a moment in Lake County's history will you have a more qualified candidate to be your treasurer. I'm humbly asking for your vote on May 5th. Early voting has already started. If you've already voted, thank you for your vote. If you haven't, I'm asking you to cast your vote to end the culture of corruption in that office.